Yo, what is up, everyone? I look so freaking yellow today because this darn Logitech webcam. My Sony doesn't get in tomorrow, so forgive me for my yellowness. So we're going to just jump right in with everybody. What's up, Matt, Cody, Big Water UAV, Just Mohop, Trucker, Beetle Bally, B-Man in the house. What's up, man? Learn Tech, Richmond Aerials. What's up, dude? Of course, Eddie. We can't forget about you. Man, it's great to see a lot of our members. Lon here. What's up? Hope everybody's having a great night. And well, you know what? Let's just, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in Dobo because, we need some more Dobo in the house. So,
hey guys, it's me, Ken. Otherwise OriginaldoBo. Thanks everybody for coming to my stream tonight. Really appreciate it. Lots been going on lately. How you been, Paul? You still griping about everything?
First of all, your voice sounds really weird, but did you switch back to the Shure SM7B?
Yeah, this Shure mic was so much better. That Rode one I switched to was complete garbage. I don't know what I was thinking. It made me sound like a little sissy girl, so I had to get back to the man mic here, the Shure SM7B. Way better. Don't you guys agree?
Do you think he sounds I mean, you sound a little... Your beard is a little gray.
Good. Just, Paul, change the subject. Who do we have on the show tonight?
Listen. Oh, that's what it is. It's Mike.
Okay.
Mike, you little... Look. You confused me there for a second, buddy.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'm definitely not as I don't have a cool voice like him. He could do like voiceovers for movies like Coming This Fall, but not me.
He's a Hollywood boy. What can we say?
He's a pretty boy.
If you guys don't know, unfortunately, Dobo couldn't make it tonight. He's got a lot of stuff going on with his family. And so I don't know if you guys are into praying or whatever, but just keep him in your thoughts, his family. He's just he needs a night off, and so this will be good for him. And you might see him in the chat. I don't know. He's probably at home watching this right now.
Leonard said it looks like I'm streaming from county jail. hey, Leonard, come on, man! I'm trying to make it here.
Leonard, yeah, he's but But nonetheless, we've got an interesting night planned for you guys tonight. We've got a special guest that is true to my heart. This guy is I met him on Josh Haynes' channel when he did a challenge, and it was his first video pretty much for YouTube that he was kind of doing like as like a YouTuber-ish. And after that video, I was like, dude, you gotta keep it up, man. You're so good. And a year later, he's way surpassed me. I mean, for good reasons. He's like at almost 7,000 subscribers right now, and has only been doing it for like a year. So everybody, just let's welcome in Caleb Hoover, and he's going to do a live color grade tonight of some drone footage. But here's a little intro for him.
What's up, Caleb, man?
Whoa, that was way more moody than I thought it was.
Wow.
Watching it back.
Intro.
That was the last few days in Austin, Texas, right?
Listen, I thought you guys said my audio sounded good in the pre-test, and my audio sounded terrible. It was coming from my computer. Now I'm actually sounding good. Jeez, I'm gonna drink this.
I thought it was just your voice. That's
that's
what you sound like.
Looks like you're gonna sing us a song into that mic there.
Let's hope not.
It's my Beta 58, man.
Oh man,
it's my live music microphone. I haven't done it in a long time.
Love it.
All right, so what's going on, Caleb? It's really great to see you, dude. Tell these fine folks a little bit about you and your channel, because I mean, I'm sure this is mainly a drone stuff. I'm not sure how many people here have heard about you, but you're a phenomenal GH5 shooter here.
Oh, well, I really appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for having me on. My condolences to Ken. Hope everything's going all right there, but sounds kind of like a rough season right now. But yeah, thanks for having me on. I do my intro basically for the channel is like I've been doing freelance videos since 2012 now, and I am kind of new to this whole YouTube thing still. I've been doing it for about a year, I'd say. And I've kind of niched down to talking about the GH5, which is still in 2021, still a great camera. Let me just say that. In 2021.
I think the Sony A7 IV this year video-wise, will hopefully be at least as good as that camera. But time will tell. We'll see.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time talking about the GH5 and GH5 gear, accessories, all that type of stuff. Drone footage I don't work a ton with, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah. I just thought there'd be something different. Ken really loves your LUTs. Since he switched over to the S5, he's been using your LUT packs, and so. There's, if you guys do use a GH5, or even if you don't use a GH5, he's got some pretty good LUT packs for just cinematography. You can check out all this stuff in the description below. His store, he even has like a free pack if you just want to just grab them and just see what happens. So
what feel free to suggest Paul do about his colors right now as a colorist.
Here's the funny thing about this. I totally don't consider myself a colorist. So I totally edit in like Premiere Pro, not in Resolve or anything like that. but it's fun. I usually edit for speed. So I like try to get things turned around pretty quick, especially with some of the client work that I do. It's like social media driven. So I try to, turn it around really quick. So
do you use any apparatuses, or do you only use the keyboard and mouse, or do you have
keyboard and mouse? That's it. Yep. So yeah,
I for some reason I thought you were a Final Cut user, but and then I started.
No, he hasn't figured out how
doing
to
your coloring videos. I was like, oh, this guy's
he hasn't figured out how to really speed up his process yet.
Yeah.
Final Cut.
Well, let's just say I use LUTs pretty heavily to get where I'm going. Because I know how I want to shoot, and so if I get all my settings right in camera, it makes the process so much faster once I get in there and
that's the key, especially if you're using your drone footage. You got to make sure you get all those settings dialed in correctly. Otherwise, if you shoot in log on your drone and you don't expose it correctly and it looks like trash beforehand, it's probably going to be extremely difficult for you to color.
V-Man said Paul needs to lay off the spray tans. So I agree.
That might be the best. That might be the best way to color correct that.
So I slipped in really late tonight. I've been this setup has been driving me nuts because I've been using like professional lights, and unfortunately, in this space, my ceiling lights are 3200 Kelvin, and my key light is 5500 Kelvin, and when the key light was on by itself, the darn webcam was overexposing itself. So I found that I needed some more room light to get it to look decent, but now I'm all orange and it just won't. I cannot wait to get my regular.
Says you have jaundice. It's kind of funny. People are just ripping on you, Paul. Like you got jaundice.
I mean, this is nothing new. Ken rips on me even when I had my 873 for color. Whatever.
Do you remember the what was the what are those MTV guys?
Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead. Remember when they tried to get bit by a vampire so they could, because they thought the chicks would like them if they turned into a vampire, and they let a homeless guy bite them, and they started like jaundicing because they got sick, and the girls walked by and they were like, "Oh, that's so sad," and they're like, "Dude, it's totally working." They were turning your color.
Oh my gosh, Eddie Nunez says I'm trying to match my shirt, my face, my shirt here. Yeah,
no, it's perfect.
You got it,
Caleb. I want to talk to you. I went through your channel today, so I'm a fairly well. No, I'm not a new YouTuber. I posted my first YouTube video like 13 years ago or something.
Yeah, right on.
But I've been working on my channel now for about 4.5 years.
Which
I think
I looked at your channel. It's a great channel. I love it.
Yeah, but I really think you're on a right trend. So when I started, I looked at your very first video. It's one of the first things I like to do is look at someone's first video.
Richmond Ariels, thank you so much.
Even though it's, you probably consider it cringy, it was probably about my 100th video. So you started off strong, and it shows, and you really make good content.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I enjoyed watching it, and I see why you're growing so quickly.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been fun, like I didn't totally know whether I wanted to kind of jump into the YouTube space at all. But encouragement from Paul and others, I sent and I did I think it was like a Rode Wireless Go review. I just had had some extra time. And so I just wanted to try like this whole review type thing. And so I did that. And I put together like a little Rode Wireless Go and then Rode Wireless Go review, and I sent it into it was Josh Haynes was doing like a reviewing of people's videos, and so that's how I met Paul and some others. And
I'm not laughing at you, Caleb.
No,
he's laughing. People saying little Simpsons over here.
Yeah, it says Bart Simpson went to camera camp.
I mean, I it's driving me nuts too. I don't know how to get rid of it. It's without having a right colored belt. I don't know.
You just need to embrace it right now.
There's nothing else I can do about it. It's just this is my last. Tomorrow I get my new camera, so I'll be good.
What I find myself doing, Caleb, with coloring is is buying new equipment, you know. So like I want what I record to be as close to what I put out as the final product. And if I have to spend too much time doing anything to it, I feel like I need different equipment. And that's just me. But
yeah, I mean, Caleb has a video on the natural profile from the GH5, and actually is a real. I used to shoot the Panasonic G85 before I switched because I can't live without autofocus, obviously, and I'm terrible.
Yeah. Do you have any drones, Caleb? Or
you know, I don't really fly drones a whole lot. I have like the first generation Mavic, probably. I think it's either the first or second generation Mavic Pro.
First, because there's only 2 versions of the Mavic.
Oh, okay, yeah, then it's probably first.
See, if you say Mavic anything, you're still pretty much in this century. But
yeah.
You know, I remember going into a hobby shop just so long ago when the Phantom 1, when the first Phantom was out, and they were describing it to me, and they were like, "Oh, this thing can come back to where it took off from," and it was just like you know, like I couldn't believe that it had that capability. Recently, I don't know if you know this, Paul, but I have been trying to get into FPV. So Ken,
you did briefly tell me about this. It's interesting.
So as Dobo constantly makes fun of people who don't fly FPV, I felt like I needed to reach down between my legs and squeeze, you know, and go man up and buy one. So I went and bought like the whole gamut of FPV, and I don't know what I'm doing. So I got the simulator, and holy crap, I have a new found respect for all these people that I watch fly FPVs. It is next level difficult. I'm very coordinated. I'm actually a real life pilot. If people saw from the other episode, I fly real airplanes with like using every appendage to control it. And this shit is hard. Like, I'm not lying. So I got this one to start with, the little baby one.
They said it's a good one to start with.
Well, it's really good. And the whole kit is like $120 or something for the goggles and everything. But then I went and got this one, and I haven't had the testes to take it out yet. It just looks too expensive and crazy. And then right here, I don't know, maybe all the drone people can recognize this stuff, but this is a DJI model. And I'm waiting for my version 2 DJI digital goggles. So I am trying to work my way up from small, which I can fly this pretty well now in acro mode after about a month of practicing. And this is one tough son of a bitch right here. Let me tell you, I have slammed this thing into the ground from every angle possible. Right? Huh?
What is that? The beta?
I don't even know what it is. It just was like a tiny little kit that they had at the hobby shop.
So you build those ones, right? You build those ones?
So this kind of just like out of the box, like it's ready to go with a controller and a headset. And most fun I've had, like this, like I have bought so many like RC planes and stuff in the past where I've spent 150, 200, 300 and up. But for $130, this is probably one of the most fun things I've ever purchased in my life. This little turd. Obviously, most of the people in the chat probably have far surpassed the capabilities of this device, but for me, this is so fun. So I'm absolutely hooked on FPV, and I can't wait to start building my own stuff, putting GoPros on it, start getting some epic footage to add to my videos and my content because it's so dynamic. I'm kind of over just boring drone footage, you know.
Hey, I got a question.
I can download that stuff. I can download drone footage that looks like everything that you can get with your DJI.
Do you think that FPV would be like a good hobby? So I'm looking for like a hobby I've got 2 boys. One's in middle school. One's going to be in middle school here soon.
Okay, if you don't want one of them to go to college, it probably pick which one is college.
All right. I see middle schoolers every single day with regular laptops. If you give them an FPV drone, you're going to go broke really quickly.
What if it's a big open field?
Look, let me tell you this. I have been unable to break this. So if you start with something like this,
something like that,
I have been unable to break it. If you knew I'm not even joking. If you knew what this thing went through, from flying it in my house to crashing it into every wall, to taking it outside to big fields, flying it around large fields in acro mode, it doesn't matter if you flip out of the sky 40 feet in the air. This thing is so light and just doesn't have any weight to it.
Yeah,
so
that's got to be the Beta FPV Whoop Racing starter kit, right?
Yeah, something like that. But anything that looks similar to this, anybody know what this is?
I'm pretty sure that's the Beta FPV. Anyway, it makes a kit, or it comes with a cheap pair of goggles, a cheap,
Yeah, no. The first thing I did was get rid of those the Tiny Hawk. That's what it is, Tiny Hawk. Jake's Drone Life said he broke the shit out of that thing. Well, yeah, the Tiny Hawk. That's what it is.
So, by the way, Jake, Dobo is out. I saw you be asking about it. Dobo is he's just out with all the family stuff going on.
Jake, how did you break the Tiny Hawk? What level of chaos did you have to put this through to smash it? I'm curious because I literally have been flying this for a month and just props have popped off. Nothing crazy has happened.
So let's turn this around.
I like learning about this stuff, man.
Well, Caleb, you think you're gonna have a middle school kid fly FPV? I mean, it can be dangerous.
Yeah.
It can be dangerous.
I think it'd be awesome.
But it would be cool to have an excuse to get into FPV. Like, honey, I need to get these kids into a hobby.
That's kind of what I was wondering, you know?
Yeah. I mean, or
don't you think that any hobby a kid takes on that's something productive is good these days that gets them outside? Like, whatever it costs, if you can just get your kid to go and see the sun every once in a while.
Yeah. Off Minecraft. I kind of want to like start from, the building process all the way to the flying process. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
So Caleb, I know that, I mean, I work full time outside of doing content creation, and I would say content creation is a small, like, it's a side hustle for me mainly.
Yeah, right on.
Is that same thing for you? Are you full time content creation, or are you like
YouTube content creation?
No, your production side. Is that a side hustle?
Yeah, no, it's not a side hustle. It's probably about 3/4 of the time for me. I do that. I'm also the worship pastor at our church.
Yeah, I knew you were that, so I didn't know if that was a full-time gig or not.
No, that's not full-time. That's almost like hardly part-time. That's mostly like Sunday mornings, a little bit during the week, that type of thing.
Yeah, I feel you. I did that for years.
Yep. But then the rest of the time is, doing freelance video production. And that could be anything from working with an agency to just direct client work. And that's mostly what I do, is probably direct client work. I work a lot with nonprofits and that type of thing.
So do you use any drone shots in your client work?
If I do, I'll hire out for it.
Okay.
So there's
there you can put your kids to work.
I know, right? Yeah.
Well,
everybody in the chat, everyone is saying that kids, Lauren said kids tend to pick it up faster, and Lon said exactly, hand-eye coordination of children is next level. That's probably so true.
It is. My 3-year-old is playing games on a tablet better than his papa, which is, I mean, he knows exactly how to control it all and everything. And he picked up my father-in-law got a RC car for his birthday, and my 3-year-old just took the controller and was just zooming around the backyard. I'm like, what? That is insane. So anyway,
don't buy RC cars from Walmart anymore. A heads up. My 5-year-old wanted one, and I bought one. It wouldn't even go in the grass. It had tires on it about that big. It wouldn't even drive in grass. It was too much for it.
Oh man.
No, this one was, I don't know where they got it, but it was a $100 RC car. It's pretty good.
No, I will say,
I
will say I kind of have my eye on the Mini 2, the Mavic Mini 2.
No, that's
what do you guys think about that one?
It's a very good starter drone. I mean, it's got OcuSync. I've seen people have some issues with it, like just taking it out of nowhere and just going off the rails, but DJI has been pretty good about swapping it out. I don't know. What do you guys think? I know there's a lot of people here who are Mavic Mini 2 flyers. What do you guys think about your drone? Smash it out in the comments.
I haven't flown the Mini 2 yet, but I've been flying DJI for so many years that I have so much, there's a level of confidence you get,
of course,
right?
Yeah.
On brands. And when you buy something that costs a lot of money and you launch it off to where it flies away, it's nerve-wracking at first, but then after a while you start to trust the brand, you start to trust the gear and the products. And I kind of have that with DJI, even going into new stuff. I mean, I used to take off my old Phantoms and just go do distance test all the time for fun without any fear. But the Mini 2, with its weight is great because it is missing some possible restrictions with registrations and stuff. But I think people are a little confused sometimes because they think because they don't have to register, they don't have to follow rules, which is not the case.
Yep.
Airspace is airspace, and
I kind of want something just small to toss in the camera bag. You know what I mean?
And I honestly, I'd love to have one of those too. I mean, if Ken would give me one of those Mini 2s, it'd be awesome. But they're really good to hold in your bag, like that and the Mavic Air 2. Like, I mean, if it was my choice, I had to choose between the Mini and the Mavic Air 2. I think I would totally get the Mavic Air 2. It's a little bit bigger, but it's just, I don't know. I feel more confident in the Air 2.
Ever since I got my Skydio, I haven't touched my Mavics personally, just because of what my mission is.
Right.
And my mission is get the shot by myself of me and put it back in the bag, So
love it.
I don't know if you know about the Skydio, but it's probably not the best if you're looking for cinematic, footage. Like looking at your footage was, lots of slow motion, lots of, at least in that one.
that one was pretty moody.
That was dramatic. I wonder what the mood Paul was in.
Yeah, no kidding. That's not even the profile I shoot in. That one you took that sample from.
Yeah.
I think we should change the song to that. What's that song that's on all the like animals that are in the shelters? Sarah McLachlan.
Oh
song?
Yeah, Sarah McLachlan.
And that was your wife, right?
Yeah, that was my wife. Yep. Yeah. She did a great job.
She's
walking through that snow.
Yeah.
Grabbing a coffee. Here in South Dakota where I'm at, things are pretty much open, so you can go into a coffee shop and grab some coffee.
It's like that in Florida.
Oh yeah, Florida. We hold nothing back here, man.
I went to an Air Supply concert like 3 weeks ago.
No way. A concert?
Air Supply. That's hilarious, dude.
I swear. It's funny that they named the band. They must have been forward thinking because now their fans actually need an Air Supply to go to the concert.
Oh, man.
No, but they were.
I knew we were going to sing.
They were so good. I went and watched Air Supply. It was a whatever.
I do a few of their covers when I used to play out, but it's been a while. But
that small guy, the little one with the high pitched voice, he still sounds exactly the same. The other guy's
voice is so. Anyway, it's crazy. So anyway, let's
awesome.
Caleb. How are you doing this night? Do you have the footage picked out already for the color grading? I'd love to.
Yeah, I've got 3 clips. I don't know. Like, do I just hit the share button or like what do I do to get my screen up here? Do you want that screen up or?
Yeah. I would just talk over it as it kind of walk us through how you color grade. Well, what I can do is give you full screen, and just there should be like a little share button, and you can.
Yeah, so I just hit share.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Share screen. Sorry, guys, I'm a little new to this.
It's all right. You got a cool beard that makes up for it.
Oh, thanks. I did a live stream this morning, and I was like, I'm going to put on some beard oil for this special occasion.
I saw that. You're like, beard oil it up, man.
All right. I don't know what screen's going to pop up here.
Are you already sharing it?
No, not yet. Hold on.
Okay.
It's giving me some bunch of different options here.
Lon asked if they were all on respirators at the Air Supply concert. Not all of them, but I'm not gonna lie, I did see like an oxygen tank or two. But the funny thing was, is you'd think that age group would be slightly more timid about going out to a super spreader type event like Air Supply. You know, probably the first time they've ever actually had a super spreader type event at Air Supply, matter of fact. But there was a whole lot of people in one little room, and they were all like 80 years old. So they might not be around for long, because it didn't look like they were following any kind of protocol in there.
You got it, man?
Hold on. Sorry.
Just checking on you. Need any help or anything?
Yeah, I do. I think I got it. I think I might have it.
Lon says it's the first youth pastor you've had on Drone Brews.
He's not a youth pastor. He's a worship leader. It's the difference, man.
Yeah. There's a difference. And no youth pastor. Just joking.
There we go. All right.
Am I up?
You're up.
Oh my! Finally.
Oh, what
There's
do?
Mike.
Move this guy.
Hey, Mike. It's good to meet you. By the way, I've never met you before, so
here we go.
Just saw your channel for the first time too, so it's good to meet you. All right, I might have some reminders and stuff popping up here, so it's all good.
It's just sharing your Premiere Pro, so you're good. We can see it
we're
all.
good.
Yeah,
cool. Well, yeah, I just picked out like 3 clips that I'll go through, and like I said, I'm primarily shooting with the GH5, and with the GH5, I'm primarily shooting with the natural color profile. So, this is a little bit different than that. Now, is this log footage? This
is log footage on the Mavic 2 Pro. So what we got here is we got footage from the Mavic 2 Pro, and he always shoots in log.
Yep.
And this is what this is how we kind of start from.
Cool. So these are the 3 clips that I picked out. Now, what I think I'm gonna do is let's do like maybe a couple with. I'll show you how I do it with my LUTs basically, and then this last one we'll just do it from scratch and see what we get. And like I said, I'm definitely not a colorist, but I do like spending some time doing this. And usually what I do is just go down here and I just make a new adjustment layer. And I like working with adjustment layers. And I'm editing on a 16-inch MacBook Pro, which seems to handle a lot of these. Pretty much handles everything that I throw at it. Now, I've seen some of those new Macs that have come out, and those have kind of piqued my interest. So I don't know. Now, if you guys have, yeah. If you guys like have any questions or whatever, don't please.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions as we go through, and if you have any questions for how the thought process behind this, just hit us up in the chat.
Okay, so what I do is I first make an adjustment layer, and now sometimes on my videos, when I do like these color grading videos, I get things like, oh, why do you do it that way? You have your own system of how you do it. It's totally fine any way you do it, and you can get the look. There's a thing, like cinematic is the word cinematic is tossed around quite a bit on YouTube. And I think I know where people are going with that. But I mean, ultimately you make the image how you want to make it look. And I think sometimes the word cinematic kind of is like that. Maybe that one that you showed earlier, Paul, is like a little bit more moody looking or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
There's different things, but
what you're going for. First. Yeah.
So this first adjustment layer, I'm just going to, kind of correct the colors just a little bit. Now this is looks like it's very well balanced in here. So did Ken take these, or Paul, did you take these?
These are all Ken with his Mavic 2 Pro.
Nice. So, I mean, there's not a ton. I kind of gauge these scopes right here and see where I'm at. And usually you kind of want everything in between, the 100 and the 0. And so usually
could you make your image a little larger? Could you spread out that window so they could see?
This one?
Your window that the preview window.
I know what we gotta do
of the image in your Premiere Pro.
Oh, this guy.
Not you, Paul. Get off of there.
I'm trying to. Never mind.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, just like that. A little bit bigger, like that.
Yeah, they just want to be able to see the colors a little better.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have it like just on my little screen right here. So, okay. So yeah, I just kind of go in here and I just want to make like, you hear this in some other color grading things, make the black's black and the white's white, that type of thing. And so I'll just kind of go here, and I don't want to make like, this is pretty well balanced, so I don't want to make a ton of adjustments here. But the object is kind of getting like, like a curve to it. And see, you don't want these spots like clipping down in here, down in the bottom. There might be some instances.
What do you mean by clipping down there? How
so
can you
like
tell? You just pointed, but I don't.
Yeah, sorry. Like this will be like crushed straight down here on that 0 line. Like here's 0, and that'll just be like crushed right down there. And so you see like kind of in these areas, like it's kind of dark. That's kind of where those look crushed. So if we take those down all the way, then you're just gonna kind of lose some of that information that's down there. So I personally don't like taking it down all the way to 0, even if I can't help it. Now there's going to be times where obviously you have like a sky that's going to be blown out, and you can see that kind of in the scope right over here. Like there's going to be times where that's going to happen, and that's all right. Now, one of the things I do like, okay, so my LUTs, they're kind of built with, actually, I'm just going to go back and not say this because I'm going to do it when we get to this clip here from scratch. But normally I just add a little fade in the blacks. And I just did a coloring tutorial not too long ago, and I said, I don't know why I do that. I've just gotten into the habit of doing it, and I've kept doing it. But anyway, that's already kind of built into my LUTs. So anyway, right here, we just have a little bit to work with. And just kind of everything's about like adding depth and dimension to the image. And so you just kind of bring in the image to life a little bit. So, okay, let's see, what do I have going on? Okay, so I work with this curve quite a bit right here, and just put a little bit of an S curve. Do you guys have any questions? Is it even making
I'll let you know. I'm
changes?
monitoring the chat.
Okay, gotcha. So actually what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add another adjustment layer on top of that. And the reason I work in adjustment layers is because this one right here, this top one, I'm actually going to make that my LUT image. And this one is going to be, the changes I make to that clip. So I can take this LUT, and just drag it all the way across. And so actually what I'm going to use is, I'm going to go to the creative tab here in Adobe Premiere Pro, and I'm going to go down, and you guys can actually download this LUT for free. I have it for free. I have these 4: Deep Shadows, Gold, Purple Sky, and YouTube Punch. I have those ones for free if you guys want to download them. I think Paul put that in the description.
Link in the description below.
Now, I will say these are geared towards the GH5 natural color profile, but you can really use them with anything. You just, kind of tweak it however you want it, that type of thing. The YouTube Punch is the LUT that I pretty much use for all of my YouTube videos. And that one, and like I said, I edit for speed. That's why I shoot in the natural color profile, because I don't want to spend a ton of time in log footage, going and making all the levels right, make sure it's at like a Rec 709, that type of thing. And there might actually be, Rec 709 or something like that for actual, Mavic footage. I'm sure you guys can find that somewhere. I'm sure you already have it. This is a drone group, right? Okay, so this top one, I just add that LUT to it. And right now you can already see it kind of gives it more of like a blue, like a teal and orange look a little bit. Now this sky, we don't have a lot of stuff that we can work with in the sky. Maybe over here we can a little bit, but so what happens with that LUT is that's actually going to take and everything, like all this, like all those curves and everything, like I've already made a lot of that in that LUT. So when you apply it, it's actually going to take these down quite a bit more. So on those corrections that we made, we might actually have to go back up here and just bring this back up just a little bit so that it's not so dark in some of those shadows. Now, one of the things that we can do with the LUT, you don't have to just, slap it on there and you're done. You probably could, but you can go in and make some even more adjustments. Like, let's say we want this bridge just to stick out just a little bit more. We can actually add a little bit more saturation to those blues there. So this hue versus saturation is like you kind of pick the area that you want a little bit more saturated, and you can just kind of bring that up and then, or take it away. So there, you take it away, here you bring it up. Now it's also going to adjust kind of here in the water a little bit as well. So anything that's, has this blue color to it is going to kind of make that saturation change. Now, one of the things that is kind of nice about this image is that it does have a little bit, even though it's kind of hidden in some of these areas, it does have a little bit of orange in there. So what we could do is actually go here and just bring up like that orange a little bit. And so you kind of see that coming in on the train right there. You can really kind of see the image start to, I don't know, add a little bit more depth and color. Okay, so let me take this LUT off. Okay, so here's like the first set of corrections that we made, and we didn't make, like, it's so, I feel like it's really well balanced, so I didn't really make a whole lot of corrections to it in that first one. So there's the first set of corrections. Here it is with the corrections, but no LUT, and then here it is with the LUT. And so that's kind of that. And then maybe in some of this area, it's just a little bit dark, so you can kind of go and, kind of fine tune it, maybe bring up the shadows a little bit in here, and you can be on either one of these adjustments layers for this. Probably the first one, because you don't want all of those changes across the board if you choose to do that. But you might be able to just bring the shadows up a little bit. And to add a little bit more definition over here, maybe I can just bring the highlights down, and you can kind of see a little bit more color coming. I don't know if you can see it on your screen now, but maybe just a little bit more color over in this area. Let's see what the contrast does. Contrast, I'll probably kind of keep the same. But, really, when it comes down to it, you don't need to make dramatic changes to the footage. And that's one of the reasons I like shooting in the natural color profile, is because the colors are so good coming out of the camera, coming out of the GH5, that I don't really need to, honestly, I probably could just toss that LUT on. If all of my settings are right, I could probably just toss that LUT on and I'd be good to go. But I know, like, that's kind of, sometimes that's looked down upon in the YouTube cinematic world, if you know what I mean. So.
Yeah, that last shot was hard for me. I actually tried to color grade it a little bit. And the sky, trying to get like the sky to look not like foggy like it was, and it's kind of difficult. The only way I made mine, I kind of did the opposite of what you did. You went for a cooler look there, and I kind of went for like a more warmer kind of like the sundown kind of look to match. I like that.
I like that because you could really warm the image up like that, and that really looks good. That brings out those oranges even more in there,
Yeah. So I mean, like you said, color grading is all just. There's not really a right or wrong way to do it. It's well, like, because there could be a wrong way to do it, but there's not really right or wrong necessarily as far as what the look of it needs to be. It's all your creativity and what you can do. These
it depends on what you're going for. If you're trying to color grade that for fall or winter.
Mm-hmm.
Right
Yep.
now, you're probably just in the winter mindset, so you're just actually grading things cooler.
Oh man, man,
in North Dakota.
Am I South Dakota? South Dakota. Let's make
South
that
Dakota.
But yes, I am in the winter mindset. We had like -40 the other day. That was ridiculous.
Is that
Yeah,
even
the poor boys wearing shorts and short sleeve shirts right now? I mean,
oh man. Okay, should we do this
clip?
clip?
Get some global warming around here.
My live stream this morning, I had, somebody from Hawaii and somebody from Aruba. And I was like, I am so jelly right now. Like, give me a beach,
Yep.
All right. Here's this clip.
This is a cool one.
This is a good clip. I used to love getting shots like this. I used to fly over in Corpus Christi, Texas, around all the tankers. I used to love flying my drone out there and circling those tankers. It's so much fun.
Now I love these because like I don't really work with water a whole lot either. You know what I mean? So like these, like this big river or bay or whatever this is.
He got that ship from.
What's that?
I was asking Paul, which drone is that from? Right there.
All these clips are from the Mavic 2 Pro.
Because that horizon looks a little bent.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. And
probably put a correction on that.
It's a little bit bent.
All right. So this I already put like put an S curve on, and you can already see it. Like you can see the image start to take shape right there. Just adds depth to the image.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one I'm going to toss my LUT on as well. And like I didn't really make a ton of changes right there. We'll see what the LUT does, but there it kind of adds a little bit more of that teal look to the water.
Yeah.
which I'm kind of liking. In here, I could. Is there a way to get the sky to pop more, or is it, is it kind of
that's
exposed?
That's what I was gonna play with a little bit here, like maybe even bring the highlights down just a little bit. But I don't want the water to get too dark. You know what I mean? So I could bring up maybe that curve up just a little bit more. Maybe even bring that down. I mean, we have a little bit there in the sky. Some of that we could even, I mean, like, I'm not going to get into it, but I mean, maybe you could even real colorists will be like masking things out and, like a whole bunch of different things that I never do any of that.
Anybody got time for that?
I know I don't at the moment. So, you could bring the contrast up just a little bit, maybe. But I mean, even right there, like, I'd be happy with that image right there. There's the starting point. A few of the corrections that we made and adjusted, and then with the LUT on. And then you could even warm this up just a little bit. I kind of liked how white the boat was, though.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's
all this is doing is making me realize I'm glad I'm not using Premiere Pro anymore.
Yeah, it can be a trip, if you know what I mean.
Although I think color grading in Premiere Pro is easier, in my opinion.
I'm just talking about the user interface is just all over the place with Premiere.
Yeah, it's not going to be. Are you on Resolve?
No, I'm using Final Cut now for the past year.
Yeah.
And if you go and if you, Caleb, if you went back and looked at my editing style, the second I switched to Final Cut is when my channel took off. I don't know if it's complete coincidence.
Awesome.
But it's true.
Well, I might need to make that jump then.
And I think speed ramping was probably the biggest thing. So it's so easy in Final Cut.
Yeah, I've seen a few things with Final Cut and in the speed ramping, and yeah, you're right. I mean, are you working with like keyframes and bending the keyframes?
No. You don't have to.
Yeah,
that's Premiere Pro stuff. I mean, there are keyframes in Final Cut.
But, right.
But you don't have to do it. It just works. And there's really great. I use Color Finale in in Final Cut. There's color grading in there. I'm using plugins, so
yep.
So it's all the same. I just feel like it's better. Premiere Pro is just, and it costs a lot of money every month. Every month
it is.
to get you. So
yep. Yeah, no,
man, for sure.
I've thought about, making some changes. I've thought about Final Cut. I've thought about Resolve. I've gotten so fast in here, and turnaround time is really quick for me. So I was like, right now I'm going to stick with it so that I can turn around some of these projects for people a lot faster.
Dobo's stuck in there too, I think.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
What's that?
Is Dobo still using?
Dobo is on Premiere. Yep. He's on Premiere. He went to Final Cut for a brief period when he was using that M1 laptop, but when you're used to something like Premiere, it's hard to switch to Final Cut.
You gotta switch before you get too good.
I used Premiere for a little bit, and I jumped back to Final Cut. I don't know. I like the magnetic timeline. And honestly, I love all the title packs. And without having to mess around with After Effects, and it's just I don't know. For me, it's a lot faster because of that. So
now I've only done these clips with the LUTs. Do you want to do one from scratch, or do we need to wrap this thing up soon?
I'd say we're good. We probably need to wrap this thing up pretty soon. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions? If you feel free to check out his YouTube channel, and his website has all those LUTs that are free to download. So
I have a question for the FPV people in the chat.
Yeah,
since I'm new into the FPV world. So if I can fly this around on acro mode in a field pretty well, is this going to be easy? The bigger one, is it going to be easier for me? I haven't flown this yet, and I'm super scared. Is this going to be easier or harder for me if I can fly this little dude around in acro mode? I need to know. Because I'm taking that out tomorrow if they say it's. Big water, I'm talking drones right now. I'm asking drone questions. And I also have this DJI one, which, let's see what's in here. If anybody recognizes, I got this one here. This is a pre-built DJI ready one, not DJI's FPV drone, but this one looks really cool, and I can't wait to fly this one. But I can't fly this one until I get the digital system for the headset. Fly it now. Fly it now in the holding cell. Okay. That's funny. All right. I think the answer is I need to fly it now. If you never flown, I'd say if you feel comfortable with the tiny one, then freaking send it, bro. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm flying this tomorrow then. I'm sold.
Just do it. Just take it out.
And I'm gonna send you the footage to color grade it for me, because I don't do color grading. It's so hard.
Well, that's
color grading.
That's why I shoot the way I do, because I don't spend a lot of time color grading, to be honest with you. So
I try to shoot with the standard picture profile, or PP1, when I shoot with my Sony. I'm really excited to get the A7C because the colors are a little bit more better, more like the A7 S3. So
now with the drones, I you know what, I don't mind that oversaturated look that comes out of a drone. I don't mind it. I know people who are serious don't like it, but I truly don't. I like the look of like GoPro camera, oversaturated, super bright blue skies with white clouds, and like the most poppy green ever on trees. That's the look I like. So I don't have to do anything, because I just record what comes out of the camera.
Brad Hendo says, "Are you going to get DJI FPV combo unboxing therapy.
I'm gonna get it. Yeah, I've already been looking at it.
I just called you unbox therapy. Oh my gosh.
You just called me unbox. You didn't say therapy. That's okay. I am gonna get it because it's cool, and why not? I like DJI products, but Ken's video on it recently has gotten me kind of nervous that it's going to create bad habits. And if I want to get to the goal of being a great FPV pilot, it may not be the right decision to buy it, but I will do it just for the clout. So all my DJI videos are my biggest videos. I think my Osmo Mobile 3 video has 1.6 million views. So DJI is
awesome,
highly searchable thing. So I will do it regardless if I end up using it or not. I'll definitely get one and have it featured on my channel. Yeah. This is another thing, Caleb. Let me tell you, if you're going to be doing any kind of like little product reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
When you're a smaller channel, I've noticed that you just might as well stick with the name brand stuff because they're the star of the show, not you, in a sense, right? When you're smaller, because people don't know you. And so the name brand stuff always performs better than the no name brand stuff.
Yeah, I've been, like I'm at the point where, there's some companies starting to send me some things and all that. But I've noticed like if it's not a GH5 video, then it's, the views are just way down.
Now, when people say
you built your channel on the I think that's one reason why you grew so fast. You have niched down so much to the GH5.
Like I've never heard someone even niche down that much before. You have extra niched.
Well, I might have like dug a hole too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, it's an experiment that we're all going to be curious of. But like that would be like if you were a drone channel, but you're like, I'm only this model drone, it's really a crazy thing. Like I'm the Mini 2 channel. I don't do anything but Mini 2 drones.
Like 808. I don't know if 808 State is in this house, and I don't think he is, but 808 State, he's a Alltel Evo 2 only channel. So
nice.
Kind of the same thing as that, but with drones. And so,
but when the 3 comes out, you have to change your whole channel motif. That don't make sense. Maybe stick to a brand.
When the GH6 comes out.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a little GH6 action. I know a lot of people I think are getting restless that talk about the GH5. They're talking about the S5 now. The Lumix S5, and I haven't tested that out at all. I'm interested in it.
Is that micro 4/3?
No, that's a full frame. So, but
the GH5 is full frame. I'm not familiar. I don't know.
No, GH5 is micro 4/3. The S5 is full frame, but it's an L mount lens. Sigma is just now kind of putting some more
mount light. Sorry.
Yeah. Right now, Sigma is just putting out some, more budget friendly style lenses, but the lens lineup for those L mounts are just not. It's not there. So
I haven't bought one lens that's not like brand name. I just can't do it. I don't know why. Mentally, I need to buy the lens that matches like the manufacturer made this lens to go with this camera, and I can't jump away from it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's fantastic. I would stick with it. You know what I mean?
I'm a Tamron boy.
That's because you have how many kids do you have, Paul?
Only one, man. Only one.
Oh,
but I got a wife.
Oh, well, I got one of those too. We were in Orlando all weekend shopping for Valentine's Day. I gave my wife a shopping spree. I said, let's go to Orlando, and I tried to hit up Paul. And Paul is too scared of getting COVID. He wouldn't even come out,
I'm not really that scared of getting COVID, but my father-in-law, his heart runs like 15%.
So you don't want to get around him.
We always hang out with my in-laws about 5 days.
That makes sense. Well, I can respect that.
They actually babysit right now. they're watching Kyson during the day. He goes to Nana school right now because he got kicked out of his second daycare. So, yeah, it's been fun. He's a great kid, but he doesn't like to play with others nicely. The hard part is, we only have one, so he's a spoiled little brat. So, oh man,
all right,
going to kids.
Are y'all drinking anything? I did whip out this beer, just for Drone Brews. This is Kentucky Vanilla Barrel Cream Ale.
I got Sessler, man.
Looks good, but I only have water. Sorry, I'm lame tonight, I guess.
You're drinking what a Paul Special right there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I'd brew up a coffee, but it's a little late for me.
That's holy water. That's what that is. Hey, do you know how you make holy water?
Please tell us.
You boil the hell out of it.
All right.
Lon says he needs a car in Orlando, man. I only got one.
You guys want to bring me down?
What is this in the chat?
Everybody's doing a meetup on what is it, March 2nd? What is it? It's not in Orlando, but it's in South Florida. I'm probably not gonna be able to. By then, I don't think my father-in-law is gonna get the shot. I'm pretty much waiting for my father-in-law to get his shot, and then my mother-in-law to get her shot before I go out into the real world.
Caleb hasn't used the F word once.
Nope, I don't use words like that, I guess.
I don't typically do that either.
Yeah.
My wife would, if she heard that out of my mouth, I think I would totally get slapped too. Yeah.
Fuck.
But if other people want to use them,
Yeah, I don't have any problems with people doing it.
I'm trying to help the chat out. Look, they're here for a certain style of video. If they don't hear the word fuck every once in a while, they're going to leave.
Ken texted me and said, bring on my long lost brother to be a co-host. So you know, fill in his shoes a little better.
Right on.
I know, and you put me in here with the pastor and the guy who's scared of his wife, and then you want me to be the only one to say the word fuck. Like, oh my God.
Go for it, man. It's all you, man.
Okay. All right. I'm trying, B, man. Look what they put me in here with. Ken wanted me to be in here because he knows I'm a crude son of a bitch that doesn't care and will say whatever. And he put me in here with the two squares. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, I'm just happy to be part of history right here. I mean, I see this chat. Totally different drone brews for sure. Hey, man, this is history, I guess.
Yeah, it's more like drone brew. I'm the only one.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I am Eddie. I'm drinking beer.
But Ken is getting close to 40,000 subscribers, and I told him,
right on.
When he hit 40,000 subscribers, I would drink a real brew on the next drone brew. So I think
a real one
coming up soon.
Will that be in the next week or so?
It will be, yes. So
tune in next week, huh?
Hey, hit that subscribe button and to get to see some action here, I guess, if you want to call it that. But yeah, no can crushing tonight. No, he's got a bottle, man. It'd be interesting to smash that across his head. No crack tonight either, guys. I'm sorry.
Look, you should pull up. You know what? In true Ken fashion, when we're done with Caleb here, you should pull up some rude comments people say on his channel and let me cuss them out. That would be.
I could do that actually.
Yeah, pull up some rude comments and let me do my best Ken impression.
All right. Do you guys have any last closing questions for Caleb? Or Caleb, do you have anything you'd like to say to the good people here on Drone Brews? I mean,
yeah,
everybody's giving us a hard time about it, but this crowd is actually a bunch of really dedicated people. We're really
I love it.
Thankful for you guys.
I can take this. No,
you did good, man. Hey, color grading is not the most interesting thing, but it's something that everybody has to learn to do if they want to create better content.
Well, I hardly did anything, honestly, in these. So I just tossed a LUT on some of these.
You don't want to do too much. That's the biggest mistake in color grading, and that's what I used to do. Is the image would look like a cartoon drawing by the time I was done with it, because I over processed it. So you definitely don't want to do that. You know,
and like I said,
better with color grading.
And like I said, like I color grade and edit for speed. Honestly, that's where I'm at. And maybe Premiere Pro might not be the best program for that, but I've got it down. I've got a system down to where I can, get things out pretty quick. So, I mean, that's where I'm at with color grading. And, the way I shoot with the GH5, I have it set so I know when I get into editing, I can try to bust it out fairly quickly.
Yeah.
True.
Well, all right. Great to meet you, Caleb. And
good to meet you.
Thanks so much for joining us. And if you guys want to check out more of his color grading stuff, you can hit his links down below in the description. Don't forget to check out his store and his LUTs. Thanks, man. It's been great. And I'll see you on Twitter.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
All right. Later, buddy.
Later.
Well,
all right. All right.
Look, is this about to get real?
Look, man. You need to pull up some comments because I'm ready to cut some people out. Because you know what? People fuck with Ken. and it pisses me off. And I love nothing more than to watch Ken just rip into some asshole trolls.
I gotta be completely honest, and I've been pretty amazed lately. The comments have been just super nice. I mean, I don't know how you can be a troll to Ken, especially right now, but
well, not right now, but yeah, he's got a lot going on. But Ken's a tough dude, man. Ken, we all go through, the second it happened, Ken came on and did a live stream like the same day. Like that takes a lot of balls right there. And I can respect him for that. And he knows that life has to move on, and he's got to be happy, and what makes him happy is coming on and talking to his community. So he went and did what makes him happy right away, and that takes so much guts, and I appreciate that about him. So look at this, here we go.
Hey man,
Jake,
I was wondering, I'm like, your camera was black for so long. I was trying to bring you in earlier, but I didn't know what the heck happened there.
It's because I wasn't in the room. So I figured if I didn't have the camera on, you would not bring me in while I wasn't.
That's probably a good idea. I mean,
Jeff,
I probably would have brought you in
again.
there, but
Jeff said if he wants to know if he can cuss again.
Yes.
Is that a camera lens you're ripping into there?
Putting it back together, yeah.
What camera lens are you putting back together? Is that the Surrey?
No, this is so I bought this used from a guy who said it worked. It didn't work, so I took it apart to see what was wrong with it. I'm putting it back together. Now I have to go see if I can find some parts to fix it.
I missed that in your live stream. What lens is that?
It's a Sony 28-70, like the kit lens for,
You're putting that much effort into a kit lens?
What did you buy that lens for?
Why'd you buy a kit lens?
I don't know if I'll try and fix it or not. I might. Well, I'm going to sell my A7 III.
Oh, okay. So you just wanted to have a kind of.
I was like, if I sell it with a kit lens, at least somebody can get started right away. But, yeah, that didn't work out the way it was.
I just got this lens, Jake.
Oh, nice. That's a good lens.
Yeah, this is a good lens here.
Also heavy.
It's super heavy, and
that's why I don't have one of those, because I didn't want to put it in my backpack and take it with me places. I'm like, no way, man, it's way too heavy.
Man, I took this to the zoo. That's all I've done with it. And I took like a bunch of bird photos. I don't even like birds. My dad was a bird watcher growing up.
Yeah,
and I despised birds, and I caught myself taking pictures of birds with this, and I was like, I put it away. Because I was like, nope.
No.
Not going to become the bird nerd.
I'm not doing that. Oh, that's awesome.
So I need some like cool shit to take pictures of with this.
Yeah. You got to go someplace cool. I don't know where you live.
I'm gonna go to this drone meetup. Where all these people are gonna meet up down here.
Nice. Yeah, they're doing a drone meetup down here next month.
I see people's videos from warmer climates out there doing their little drone meetups and their little fun times, and it makes me
climate.
Slightly jealous because I was out flying my drone today, and it was warm. It was like 22 degrees.
Hey, Lon keeps fucking with me in the chat about this backdrop looking like a prison cell.
When Lon picks on you for something, he continues to nag on you the entire stream.
He said I need like a scale right here. Like this shows the height, like if you're leaving a gas station. It's fun.
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm looking for some dirty comments, and I've gone back a week so far, and I haven't found one.
Really?
I mean, it's crazy. The turnaround lately, and Ken and I talked about this on the phone. Lately, the comments have been super nice, and yeah, I mean, we haven't gotten very much hate lately.
I delete all.
Maybe we should go into my comments. No, I'm just kidding. People are ruthless. I made a fake SpaceX video. So the Falcon 9 rocket launch happened over here at Space Coast, and I went down there for that. And then as I was driving home, I was trying to find videos on to watch, and it was all these people who thought like the Earth was flat and the rocket launches weren't real and space was fake. So I had this great idea to go home, and I was gonna make like a spoof video making fun of these like people who don't think space travel is real. And so I made a spoof video acting like the whole SpaceX flight was fake, and people ripped me a new one because they thought I was serious. Like I was trying to be so over the top, but they thought I was a complete idiot. And so either they were on my team and they're like, yeah, this guy's a genius, or they thought I was a complete idiot. The video did not go over well. So I still to this day, I told myself I'm going to approve every single comment that comes on that video, and they just cuss me out. You a dumb motherfucker. Like whatever they say. I approve every comment. It all gets sent over to the trash basket, and I approve them.
So you were getting into FPV, and Jake is like an FPV pro.
Oh, you are?
He does a lot of commercial work for FPVs, so you can ask him any questions too, and he can answer this.
Yeah, I've gone through so many of those.
And then I bought this. I haven't flown it yet.
Oh, nice.
Don't know what this is either. Just bought it. And then I bought this.
All right. Getting up there.
This is DJI. So my plan is I've been flying the shit out of the simulator.
Yeah.
I've been flying the shit out of this for the last month. I tried to take this out today, but it started raining because I'm ready to upgrade to see how I do with this. And then once that happens, then I'm going to, when my V2 DJI goggles get here, then I'm going to go try this.
Okay.
But I noticed when I switched over, so I started flying this with it in like where it kind of leveled itself mode.
Yeah.
And then I heard Ken I heard Ken say, if you learn to fly these in that mode, it's going to create bad habits.
Yep.
So the second I heard him say that, I switched the shit off and I just put it in acro mode and I won't take it off from acro mode now.
That's good.
Because I don't, and one of the things I noticed was I was always holding forward, right?
Yeah.
So if I was flying somewhere, it was almost like I was flying a DJI drone. I was just holding forward the whole time to move forward. And that's one of those bad habits that you don't want.
I can't find any dirty comments, bro. I tried.
That's all right.
I went back 2
fuck
weeks.
Them all. Just fuck them all.
Anybody? It's been a. As you can see, Jake, my skin tone here is is nice and yellow because of
I was going to ask
camera.
if you'd had a bout of jaundice lately or something, or your liver was
Earlier,
going bad from all
someone
the
said-
water you drink, or what, man?
Earlier, someone said The Simpsons goes to camera camp.
Next week, we actually have another guest. His name is Quay Hugh. He's a local Orlando guy, and he's also is an ambassador for Sony and also does their Sony events. So he was at Camera Camp. He does all the B Alpha events that are around the country. I originally met him at the Orlando B Alpha event, and then he kindly picked my name to come to Camera Camp. That's kind of how I got in there. Anyway, so
he rode next to me on the airplane on the way home.
Nice.
Yes, that guy. Yeah. Yep. He's cool. So he'll be on next week. We're probably going to talk about this new camera that Sony's coming out with, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be for that Air Peak. You know, one of the things they're going to want to do is be able to put it on that Air Peak drone from Sony, but maybe we'll find out more information on that next week. I don't know. What do you think, Ken? What do you think, Jake? My goodness.
I think, yeah, probably it's going to be going on the Air Peak. It's a little odd. It's pretty much like an A7 III in a slightly different body and with S Cinetone, but more expensive. So at least that's what the rumors are. You know, who knows how much the
because like the rumors said that the A7S3 was going to be like 4,200 euros.
Yeah.
And this is only rumored to be like 37.5. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what that price. I find it hard to believe that people would want to buy that camera over the A7S3 just for that form factor. Yeah. If it was more expensive. So there has to be more to it if it is more expensive.
Yeah, I think that's where like the S Cinetone thing is going to be a big part of it. I was kind of excited because at first I thought it didn't have IBIS, which would mean it would go great on my big FPV drone, but it does have IBIS, so that's a no-go there. But
can't you turn it off, the IBIS?
Well, even when you turn it off, the sensor will still move when you're doing hard movements on FPV, and so you have to have a camera that basically has no IBIS system at all in order to be able to really.
Yeah, it doesn't lock; it just stops the motors, so it still has some travel.
Yeah, so it's still like when you make a hard turn, the sensor will still shift down just because of the force. And so you turn it off, but it's like it's never.
Is that correctable with the Sony software?
No, I mean a little bit, but not really because as it moves around the way the lens and the sensor interact, you get distortion on the sides, and so the software can't really compensate for it a lot.
Is that why they tell you to turn off IBIS when you're planning on using the software to stabilize?
Yeah, because you want to basically rely 100% on the software over anything else. Otherwise, you'll get the software and the sensor, like the sensor movement will be there in the footage. But then when the software tries to compensate with the gyros, it'll counteract itself, and you get these weird artifacts and weird movements. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what the FX3 is. I'm sure there's more to it than what we've seen so far, other than it's probably for the Air Peak drone. But when they launched the Air Peak drone, or when they announced it, they said it was like basically for your Sony Alpha camera. And I don't know.
What about Blackmagic's new camera? Oh, shit.
The people came for fucking drones.
Exactly.
They came for fucking drones.
I'm talking about drones.
My people don't care about fucking cameras. Bro, they came for the drones.
Bro, I got drones.
Here,
I've been trying to talk about drones, Ken, and these people won't let me.
My people came for the fucking drones.
There. There's drone. There's
I know I can see him in the chat. Yes, we came for the fucking drones. I'm just making sure the stream gets demonetized so nobody sees Paul's Oompa Loompa ass. I'm sitting there in bed naked. I'm sitting there in bed naked, contemplating, should I have sex with my wife or should I not? And I turn over, I see Paul, and
the decision was no.
My decision was made as soon as I saw Paul oranger than the man who just left office. He's like, Paul looks better than me. He looks like he totally got tan. Paul spent some time in Mar-a-Lago. He's absolutely number one. Look how amazing his skin looks. That's what I thought as I'm watching you, Paul. I'm saying, is he fucking running for office? I was like, what is going on here? This is amazing.
On a color grading episode.
Nonetheless, I mean,
yeah.
You are banned, officially banned from ever streaming without a DSLR camera in your possession ever again.
Well, thank goodness. Banned. I should be getting mine tomorrow. Shouldn't happen again, boss. I won't do it again, sir.
You're not getting a paycheck like always now.
Dang it.
You're not getting paid at all, because if I'm not getting paid, you're not getting paid. And I'm sure as fuck not getting paid since I lost my job. So there's that. But you know, it is what it is.
So how you doing, Ken? We missed you on here. Everything going good?
It's going.
Yeah. I mean, describe good there, Mike.
Well, you know, relatively speaking.
Relatively speaking, I mean, let's recap the past 2 weeks. We had grandfather died. I lost my job. Was it yesterday? So life's fucking great. We're fucking sail. We're full sail, dude. So my goal is just we're gonna put 110%. I think into this. We're just gonna put 110%.
Thank you, Big Water. Appreciate it.
You want to learn non-destructive testing in the aerospace world? You let me know.
Well, I'm going to do destructive testing on YouTube.
I can turn anybody into six-figure salary in 6 months.
We're going to do some destructive testing on YouTube. The
destructive testing.
Yeah, I want to. My goal is, in the end of everything, is just to be the antichrist of the drone channels. Just like burn them to the ground. Burn them to the ground. Like I thought about it. I've been stewing on it, and I've been thinking to myself, I said, the more and more I started watching people's content, the more and more I started like saying to myself, I fucking hate people's content. Like I hate it because everybody puts on this act. Nobody's afraid. Everybody's afraid to be who they really are. We're all putting on this fake facade trying to impress brands. And I said, fuck it. I don't care. I said to Zach, I said, what do you want me to do? Do we put on a fake face, or do we just say ship it? He said, send it, dude. We don't care. So we're going to start doing that. We're just going to say, fuck it. You know, we're going to be the antichrist of channels. So that's the game plan. So
we should
everybody
start devil reviews.
Yeah. Well, exactly. We talked about that. We talked about just absolutely shredding products from that angle, right? We talked about that.
Yeah, every episode could be everything wrong with the blank.
So
everything that's shit about the blank.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to be shit about, but I think for the most part, I mean, there's a lot of great channels, but then there's a lot of channels out there I feel like right now that are just like sort of like they're coasting, they're just telling people what they want to hear, and I'm not gonna let this channel ever be that, no matter what the situation is. That's why I made a solid vow that this year we're not taking on any more product reviews. Like I'm not reviewing. Like if a company says, hey, we want to pay you for X review, or we want you to look at something, if I'm not really interested in something, we're not looking at it. We're just not going to look at the product, because I don't. No, that's how I feel like just you get shitty reviews out of things. So
I have literally probably 7 things here that I don't even want to make a video on. Like I feel you. Like I'm getting like writer's block, and I haven't been posting lately because I feel like pressure from brands, and it sucks.
Well, and that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing. They pressure you. You know, I've had situations recently where a brand has pressured me to look at a product, and contractually I agreed to look at a product, and I sort of hustle to look at this product, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, here's the shipping label to send that back," and I'm like,
"Oh, hell no!"
I'm like, "No, that's not how this works. When we look at something, we play for keeps." So now that I know like certain companies do that, I'm like, we're not doing that anymore. We're not going to do that anymore. So that's the game plan. But
Jake,
hopefully we get back to normal.
What drone footage was that shot with? What drone did you use for that?
What's that? That was Mavic 2 Pro. That was D-Log M. So D-Log M, the secret to D-Log M is the leaming LUT. Like if you try
the last one I showed.
What's that?
The ice skating was a Skydio.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I thought you were
everything else I shoot in D-Log on my Mavics.
Yeah, D-Log is very clutch.
Oh man, you can do so much with it. It's really, really nice.
I found that if you shoot raw,
on cameras. There's a profile for D-Log M. I didn't realize that. Like you can match your exterior shots to D-Log M, which I think is pretty cool. Yep. So I started shooting my exterior shots when I do real estate. I shoot that in D-Log M, and then I'll match the exterior footage to D-Log M. I just use the same LUT, which I think is pretty dope. It matches the gammas
it's amazing
perfectly.
how well it'll match if you do that.
And how do you? Caleb earlier was talking about he really liked how you exposed your image. How do you got to
overexpose D-Log by 2 stops? I always overexpose D-Log by 2 stops. What I found with Mavic 2 Pro footage is that it's probably some of the most forgiving log footage of any drone. I overexpose by 2 stops because I use a correction LUT called Leeming LUT. Paul Leeming creates these LUTs. They're technical LUTs for, so many different cameras. But the beautiful thing is you literally drop that LUT and maybe you add a little saturation and you can call it a day, essentially. The gamma is perfectly corrected. Now, if you want to add a stylistic flair on that, that's up to you. But literally it takes me 2 seconds to color grade footage when I shoot with the Mavic 2 Pro. So 2 stops over is the key to success. And it's perfectly balanced. The waveforms are perfectly spread. It looks like, I don't know. You got to compare it to anything. It's like perfectly symmetrical. It's like, I call it like it's the stripper on the stage. She's got the legs like that. I don't know.
Hey, Ken, how did you eliminate your echo using your new Rode mic?
So here's the problem we had with the echo last week. So everybody remembered when we were talking, we had this echo, right? And it's just going on and on and on. And it sounded ridiculous, right? Well, I'm a dumbass and I had the FX button. There's a button on the Go XLR that says FX. When you have that enabled, it's going to do things like, I don't know, throw a hard tune in there. I can't hear that. I can't hear it. Only you can hear it. But I'm getting so frustrated talking to Paul that I didn't see that the FX icon was illuminated. So what I did was I unplugged my Go XLR. So when you unplug it, it resets whatever effects you have enabled. And the echo magically went away. So it had nothing to do with the attenuation. So like right now I don't have headphones on. It's not picking up that reverb because the mic is about as sensitive as the SM7B. I thought, man, I need a cloud lifter and all this stuff. And cloud lifter arrived this week and I tried it. And the cloud lifter actually made it sound worse. It sounded muffled. What I'm learning is with dynamic mics, you want to let a dynamic mic just be dynamic. When you use a cloud lifter, it now has to go over to a condenser mic and you'll actually decrease the sound quality a little bit. The reason why you use a cloud lifter is so you can reduce that gain noise, but the gain coming out of the Go XLR is so clean. It's clean. So I just said, screw it. I sent the cloud lifter back, save $150. It just works.
Yeah, I got a cloud lifter and the Focusrite.
Okay, so cloud lifter and Focusrite, that's fine. That's fine. When you're dealing with like something that has a preamp built in, like Go XLR or the Rodecaster Pro,
the preamp is stronger in the Go XLR.
The preamp in the Go XLR is strong enough. It's stronger than a Scarlett Solo. It's stronger than a lot of those like, I don't know. Does Jake? Does the Black Magic? You're not running your audio through that, or what are you running your audio through? Podcaster, right?
I'm running through a MixPre 3.
MixPre. So MixPre's, again, that's another thing that has a strong enough preamp.
Yep.
You don't need a cloud lifter if you have a MixPre. It should have enough gain to power that clean. Like you shouldn't have any gain noise from that. So I don't know. I tried. The reality is when you're streaming through StreamYards, I don't think you need that. Nobody's going to hear that. End of the day, I mean, hopefully did anybody make it this far, Paul? I mean, God, just Christ. I mean, how are you so orange? I don't understand. How are you so orange, dude? You're orange.
Know, man.
Your skin tone matches whatever your shirt is. That orange tone on your shirt.
Somebody said that earlier. Gosh, I don't know who it was. Was it Eddie? I think it was Eddie. Anyway,
it looks like Beavis and Butthead when they got bit by the homeless guy and got jaundice when they tried to turn into werewolves.
Holy crap.
I tried my hardest. Like the problem is I had to turn on these 3200. This looks better than with the lights off because it overexposes when like key light. I don't know why.
Jake's trying to make you feel better.
I had to go to like 9,000 Kelvin on my camera to sort of match Paul.
I don't even want to match Paul.
9,000 Kelvin. He's like walking on the surface of the sun.
Yeah, I
feels
mean,
like it in this room right now.
But to be fair, to be quite honest with you though, Jake, Paul has an issue. He suffers from white balance withdrawal, where he could not nail white balance if it hit him on his forehead, which clearly right now, I want you, Paul, when this stream is over, I want you to like reach out to White Balance Anonymous, WBA. They have a website and they're nationally funded, and they help people that struggle with nailing the balance of the whiteness in their skin pigment. I would highly recommend you go check them out.
So this is when I turn that 3200 Kelvin light off. I feel like I look worse because I'm like a bright, sparkly whatever.
So let's recap too.
That's better.
So Paul says last week I put a ridiculous deal out there on Twitter. I put a deal out on a SM7B. Paul says, I don't need the mic. I don't need a mic. I don't need a mic. I don't need this. And he forewent on the mic. And tonight he couldn't even get his audio right, which is ironic. I'm sitting there on the stream and I'm texting him. I said, Paul, check your audio. It's not routing through your mic. And there's nothing. I couldn't even send him a lifeline. Couldn't even phone a friend.
Oh, he did. I was like, you did not. And looked down my phone. Oh, yeah, there he is.
Yeah, dude. There was only so much. I said I can forego the audio. I can forego looking at the white balance.
Well, the problem is I got this loser here that says, "Oh yeah, your audio sounds great." Okay,
Who said that? Who said that?
Mike's like, "Oh yeah, everything sounds great, man. Everything sounds great."
I considered the source.
He's comparing it to you. So I mean, like, he doesn't know what great sounds like when it talks to you. It's like it's Paul, right? What's the barometer?
Because he eats the microphone.
Right. And then you got Jake that
so
gets
like,
on, and all of a sudden
you're doing this.
and then you get a comparison, and then Jake sounds like a normal human being. He sounds great. And then Paul starts talking. You're like, ah, shit, what's going on here?
I always forget that my computer just doesn't want to default to my Scarlett, so I have to. I always got to change it from them for some reason, and it always wants to do my laptop.
So we are less than 15 days away from the release of the FPV drone. So we're looking March 2nd, March 1st.
Are you gonna be in trouble for posting that video or what?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
He's not under an NDA.
I'm not under an NDA.
DJI drone. I can't wait.
One of the things, like with me specifically and working with DroneWorks, we're a distributor, but we did not post any videos. Like if I went on behalf of DroneWorks and posted a video with the FPV drone, we would be in trouble and DJI would never stock us again. I've been very careful with the information that I have let out there. Like I watched Joshua Bardwell's stream and he was having a meltdown because people knew. Like fucking grow up, dude. Like learn to be an influencer. Shit gets leaked. Shit will get leaked before everything. There's always every single release. Like this is the problem. The FPV guys have a thermal meltdown because they don't know how to handle this because they don't understand. Like if you're a GPS guy, you go through this every release. There's always one numbskull that will get his hands on a product way before everybody else. And then they release the video and everybody's up in arms. Oh my God, my video is not going to be first. And you have all these larger influencers like, oh my God, nobody's going to watch my video. Dude, it's one person. It's one person.
Right.
The reality
everybody
is,
watches multiple videos.
Right.
And
the reality
for the big wigs, they're going to get views no matter who posts the video.
Exactly. And the reality is the way you get views is you put out a video that actually engages people and entertains people. The problem is a lot of these people rinse and repeat the same information. They're just repeating shit that people will know when they get the box. So tell them something different. Show them something different. And people,
yeah, I mean, if Gerald Undone were to post a video a month after everybody else, his video is still going to get a ton of views on there.
Still going to get a lot of views.
Like iPhonedo. iPhonedo waits like 2 months before.
Yes.
And he just kills it. It doesn't matter.
What would people rather have? Would they rather have us rush to blow our wads and to tell people what we think of this product?
When you say blow our wads, does that mean we're all in the same room doing it?
Well, possibly. It could be a circle jerk. I don't know.
Are you the pivot man?
I'm not the pivot man. But you
I was a pivot man last time.
Very quickly. Now, with this release specifically, I do know that most have had it for over 2 months' time. With a product like this, most have had it for 2 months' time. So, like it's apparent. Like it's apparent. Like you'll know who has the drone. It's very apparent. Like you already know Bardwell has it. He's outed himself. You already know like the Kelly Shores of the world. They've had it. They have the goggles. They have the V2 goggles. You know the Aldrins. Like Aldrin's not going to sit there and fucking fly FPV, right? DJI sent him the fucking drone. He's got the goggles. He's got the drone. I mean, it's like it's 2 and 2. It's magic science. But then the end of the day is you as a viewer have to decide, who are you going to trust? Who are you going to trust? Are you going to trust these GPS guys that have flown FPV once or twice? Or are you going to trust the guys that have sit there and built these drones from the ground up, crashed, flown, frustrated? I know Jake and myself have lost drone after drone, troubleshoot shit left and right, sit there and fly things to tell you, is this right for you? Because at the end of the day, it's going to be a $1,200 investment. This is a $1,200 drone. You have to think to yourself, what is your goals with this drone? Are you looking for cinematics? Do you care that you're never going to be able to upgrade that camera? Do you care that there is going to be some form of latency in these goggles, in this drone itself? If you don't care about any of that and you don't have any care that you want to ever fly acro, then this drone is for you. If you like the fact that DJI is going to have built-in geofencing on this quad, and potentially if you see something cool you want to fly, but you're not going to be able to fly it, or if you see a cool mountain and you want to dive that cool mountain, whether you exceeded the altitude that it's going to allow you, which by the way, the altitude is 1,600 feet, same as the Mavic 2 Pro, you're not going to be able to do those things. You're not going to be able to do those things because DJI says you can't. If you don't like dealing with software and activations, then this drone's not going to be for you. But if all of that sounds okay and you're totally okay with that, because the realm you come from is GPS drones, which a lot of people that are going to be curious with this drone are going to come from the GPS realm, this is the perfect drone for you. This is going to be the perfect drone for you because you are already used to all these things. But the hardcore FPV guys,
how many of those people are there?
There's a lot of people that are. There's a lot of people that are curious. There's a lot of people that are curious about FPV, but said, well, shit, the entry into FPV is daunting. I got to build a drone, or I have to, how do I bind this? This is the weirdest thing. How do I set up a switch? You got to set up a controller and you have to set your switches up. Well, there's no instructions with any of this shit, right? Like when I started FPV, I was lucky. I had a buddy who was in FPV and he sort of, walked me through the steps of it. I was lucky. And to be thankful.
The place I bought my drones set this up for me and I watched them do it on that website and I was like so confused.
It's confusing. It's confusing. And I'll tell you, like, it's great. Like if Joshua Bardwell didn't have his videos, I would be lost to a certain extent, because there's certain things you go through and you're like, shit, what do I do? Well, he's already been there. So he's got a guide for just about everything. There's a guide for just about every question you can have. There's probably a Bardwell video for it. There is. His videos are long. I feel like he likes to talk. So you have to just get through and find the meat and potatoes of what you're looking for. But if you can get past that, you're golden. You're golden. But like for most of us, like, you don't want to go through all that bullshit. You just want to take it out of the box and fly it. Like the FPV drone, most of the common questions was people said, oh my God, the stick is self-leveling. Okay, the sticks are not self-leveling. There's 2 screws on the back of it. You unscrew the screws and you can adjust the stick to feel just like a Tango 2, where it will drop all the way to the bottom. And that is how I wrecked it twice, because, trying to land these things, you're like, fuck it, how do we land it? Does it land like a normal FPV quad? Well, it sort of does, but it comes down really fucking fast. And, you smash it into the ground. It survived 2 good hits. One hit was on AstroTurf and one hit was on concrete, where it came down, I would say, pretty hard. It came down pretty hard. It bounced on concrete and I freaked out and I flipped it into sport mode. It's just different, because if you know how to fly one thing and then you switch over to try to fly this, you're like, oh shit, it's really different. You almost have to relearn things. It's not, I'm not saying it's bad, because it's not bad. It's going to be cool for long range things, like where Jake is at. Beautiful of example of like where that drone is going to exceed. You got these ice caves. That's perfect, because you're going to be able to push this thing super far with a fail-safe built in. If it disconnects, guess what it's going to do? It's going to come right back to you. And it's not going to come back to you in the same manner that an FPV drone will reach a certain altitude and start coming back to you. But once it gets closer, it's like, oh shit, I got to flip it out of failsafe and take control of the drone. This is going to act more like a GPS drone. So it's a little bit more of a safety net. However, if you flip that shit into acro,
you don't have any obstacle avoidance on that. So all of that's turned off, and you are the pilot. And if you wreck the drone in acro, DJI is not going to warranty that. So you're not going to, like, if you think DJI Care Refresh will cover, it's like launch mode on the Nissan GTRs. If you throw your car in launch mode and you break an axle, Nissan is not going to cover you under warranty. So same thing, if you throw it in acro mode and you break this drone, they're not going to cover you. Now, maybe they may change that. But as of right now, best of my knowledge, if you're in acro, they're not going to cover you.
I'll be right back.
There's a shit ton of information I just dropped there that maybe some people didn't know, and maybe I didn't cover well enough in that video. I thought about that video we did, and I said, shit, I didn't really cover some of the big things I wanted to make sure, but I was sort of tired in that video. So, but I don't know. I feel like still, like, there's going to be a need for, like, these drones like here. I think that is, Jake, is that a marmot or is that a beta?
That's a marmot.
Marmot?
Yeah,
there's still always going to be a need for these.
What's that?
There's still always going to be a need for these. There's always going to be a need for these drones.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to go away. I think what it's going to do is get a bunch of GPS guys into sort of quasi FPV stuff. But exactly. I don't think that most of them that jump in on it will then jump into like hardcore FPV stuff where they're building.
No, they won't. They'll stay with DJI. I mean, I started out when I first started with FPV. My intention was I wanted to be doing cinematic stuff.
Yeah,
but
same here.
But then the more I started flying, I was like, oh shit, I really like the freestyle side of it. Like for me, I think freestyle is super fun, and I just started aiming more for freestyle and not so much aim for, the cinematic side.
Yeah.
Because freestyle you can do anywhere. You can take a parking lot and make a parking lot look amazing with freestyle. With cinematics, like if I fly around the parking lot, people are gonna be like, "What the hell, dude?" So that's the hard thing.
That's where, that's the same reason I got into it, was to do stuff like this.
Well, you've got the landscape for it. I think if you're gonna do cool. you gotta know your environment. Like you're in probably one of the most, I wouldn't say, I'll say it, it's cinematic. You're in Alaska, there's views everywhere, and the views are always different. From every angle that you fly, it's different. It's not flat, it's interesting. So for you, cinematic flight would be amazing. And to have the FPV drone, knowing that, okay, I have some safeguards built in here, right? I got the range, I can really, really push it far. And I know that if I go too far, the drone's gonna definitely come back to me.
Yeah. And that's the big thing that I think is really gonna sell it for people. That's
gonna sell it. The only thing I don't like about it is you can't strap a GoPro to it. There's just no way. And I think that's a miss for me. To not have an exterior camera, because let's face it, eventually this camera that's on this FPV drone is not gonna be, it's gonna be out of date, right? There's gonna be a point where the quality is no longer acceptable in comparison to other action cameras.
Yep.
So, but with that said, the Hero 6 has been on the market for a long time, and people are still buying those and decasing those cameras, and that camera is still acceptable for a lot of use cases.
Yeah.
So,
are you? I know that Ken, you're still using GoPros. Are you still shying away from GoPros, Jake? Aren't you using DJIs?
I use GoPros on the FPV stuff.
Yeah, you got to use GoPro.
Stuff. The GoPro. So
the Osmo has issues with FPV.
Yeah, the Osmo and the image quality on the Osmo isn't quite. The thing that GoPro has still is their artifact control in their images is still better than anybody else. Other than that, if anybody conquers that, GoPro's done as a company, because they keep making shitty decisions with their user design. They make terrible decisions with their hardware interfaces. Like the touchscreen on the Hero 9 is almost impossible to use. It's terrible. It's one of the worst touchscreens I've ever used. You're like, why are people shelling out $500 for an action camera when you just curse every time you have to use it and change a setting because the touchscreen's so bad? That being said, I use the Hero 9 for FPV and I use the Hero 8 for FPV, and it just it is what it is. But the image quality is still better on those two cameras than on the Action or on the other ones.
I have issues where the GoPro, I'll start recording and the image would just freeze.
Oh yeah.
And
I wouldn't know it was frozen. So I would get done with my flight and then I would come back and look at the footage that I had, and the sound was playing and it would play like a second of the video, but it was frozen. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, that was an amazing flight. And I thought, crap, maybe it's the SD cards, right? Maybe the SD cards are the problem. So I went through like 10 or 11 different SD cards. And I'm like, all right, it's not the SD cards because it's happening on cards that I know are good. And it ended up being, the firmware. So it ended up being outdated firmware that I had, and I updated the firmware. I haven't had issues since, but the GoPro will freeze intermittently. Like I have one of the Hero 8s. I took a very minimal impact on one of my Hero 8s. Didn't crack, didn't break. The touch screen or the LCD screen in the front of the Hero 8 is no longer functioning.
Yeah.
Well, on the Hero 8, that's how I tell I'm recording or not.
Right.
I send my Hero 9 in for repair a month and a half. So 1 month, 2 weeks ago, I sent my Hero 9 in for warranty. I have the GoPro warranty, right? Where they give you a new one if you break it. They sent me a new one last week. I get a notification from UPS. The package was damaged. So they're just now sending me another one tomorrow. I'm going to cringe if I get another email saying a package is damaged. I'm going to lose my living shit because that would be almost 2 months without the Hero 9. And now I've switched to the Hero 8.
Seems like the package could be damaged if it's a tough action camera in the box.
Right. Like send it to me anyways. How are you going to break that
box?
You know, I thought about that. That was the first thing I said. I said, it's an action camera. How bad is the package? Did it get run over by the truck? Or did it fall off the truck?
It could probably fall out of the plane.
I got a note once. It was like, "Hey, we're sorry we damaged your package," and it was literally the label and shredded cardboard in a plastic bag shoved in my mailbox.
But don't you think it would be good if they let you decide? They should let you decide.
Like I don't want that.
Like, let me decide what is damaged. Like, let me be the judge of if my package is damaged, because I could have had my Hero 9 last week.
You didn't buy cardboard.
I don't know if I'll fly the Hero 9 though. I don't know. Like, I've gotten to the point where I'm not even using stabilization when I'm flying anymore. Like, I've turned off hyper smooth because I've gotten to like this rut where I'm like, I want to see how smooth I can actually become.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let me see if I can paste this in here, but
that's what people like. Oh, you can just reel steady everything. But the truth, and you can, but the problem is then when you switch to a larger camera, like this, and if you haven't figured out how to fly fairly smooth, like everything comes through.
Let's see. This was yesterday. I was like, fuck it. I've been in a rut where I'm just like, if I break everything on a session, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So this is no stabilization on GoPro. And for me, this is passable. Like, just throw it in. I got a little bit of bobble because I had a bent prop.
Oh, I was wondering.
But I mean, still, if I changed out the props, this would have been perfectly passable for what I was going for. Now, if I threw on hyper smooth, no bobble would have been noticed. But I just thought to myself, I'm like, shit. I'm like, this was flying great, except for just the prop bobble. I was feeling pretty good with the way this looks, but I feel like sometimes you want to turn that stabilization off so you can sort of see, one, it's showing me, okay, I've got a bad prop. I've got an out of balance prop. I checked all the motor bells to see if I had bent bells. I didn't. So next thing you do, you change your props and you go through, or maybe it's a bad tune or something. Sometimes that can, happen. But I've been shutting stabilization off because it's helping me tune these quads a little bit better. And then the reality is, if you do want to stabilize it, you run it through real steady on its lowest setting, and it'll look dope. With the lowest setting, it looks amazing. Yep. Like, it just takes that edge off of it. Like right there, I had a little prop wash. It would have took that off. If hyper smooth was on, you would have been
footage for though?
What's that?
Like, I see the fun in this, right? Like, this looks fun, but what usefulness is footage like this?
Nothing. It's just for the sheer fact, if it's freestyle. Freestyle is more more artistic. It's just you're pushing a quad to its paces.
No, I can't wait to be able to do that because I want to learn.
There is no purpose of this, but people, at first when I first saw this shit, I was like, this shit makes me dizzy. But when you start flying and like you're starting to, you really start pushing one of these to the limit, it's so freaking awesome to see how far you can progress.
It's
when I first started,
I guess what I'm saying is like
there's no purpose.
Picking the stabilization of like the auxiliary footage and not even what you're seeing seems odd when you're not really using this footage other than for the sheer entertainment.
That's all you're doing. But so pilots pride themselves on what I've found is with like FPV specifically, and I guess I didn't understand this at first. Pilots pride themselves on how well they can fly as smooth as they can without stabilization. If you go and you watch like Drew Camden's videos, or you watch, let's say, even Steele's videos or even Vic FPV, any one of those guys that are just super, super talented pilots, they don't use stabilization, and you would never know that hyper smooth wasn't on. So it's almost like a bragging thing to them at that point. Like, I'm flying this smooth. Or even Nurk, for instance. Nurk flies a lot of great cinematic stuff. And he can fly his Black Magic or his Z-Cam or whatever on his drone, and he doesn't really need stabilization because he's so good on the sticks that the only thing that stabilization is doing is taking a little of that bobble, like that little hesitation, it's removing that. So when you're flying FPV like in freestyle, you're sort of nitpicking and trying to see, well, how smooth can I make this?
Now, what about those horizon leveling lenses that are now with the GoPro 9?
I don't use it. I mean, I don't like, let's say I'm going to do a client shoot of some sort, right? And I'm going to go about my business where, hey, they want a certain look, but it's going to need like FPV, but not an FPV look. Like FPV look, you've got the banking, right? You've got all this banking in there. And then GPS drones have a very flat horizon. So if I need that close proximity, right? If I need that close proximity, but I don't want, I don't
rickets
want...
is kicking in there. You got some rickets.
Fuck. What's that?
I noticed a little bit of rickets there at the end.
Little rickets.
Yeah.
Rickets.
Probably.
I don't record my freestyle flights.
I do.
Man,
I
it's
scrutinize
just so much fun to go out and do it. It's,
I go back and I watch it because that tells me like the tune. Like, I understand, like, I'll go back and look at the data. If the drone is capable of black boxing, I go back and you sync that flight to the data. So when you look at it and you see, okay, I had some flutter here. Well, the black box data should indicate where that flutter came from. And you can sort of figure out, like, well, what adjustment do I need to make to remove that flutter? Or is it hardware related? So with this quad, I've gotten it pretty close. Like, I've gotten it like pretty damn close with flying with other guys to get it. But I ended up taking one of my quads and I sent it up north. There's a guy you pay, he does custom tuning. He'll black box the data and he guarantees that your quad is going to fly amazing. He's going to lock it in. So I figured, fuck it. For $150 or whatever that it cost me to send it up there, let me try it. Let me see if is it worth paying somebody to tune your quad? So I tried it out. We'll see.
Oh,
I don't know. He's still, I don't even know.
Unknown yet.
Paul,
well,
if you
guys,
got
it's getting really late here tonight, and we got to end this thing soon. What?
Paul, I'll see you later, brother. You gotta go. You gotta go pick up his kid.
Yeah.
Gotta go. See, I fucked him up.
He had to transfer him.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You can go, bro. Okay. Hey, go get him.
Can you handle this by yourself?
I think I can handle it. I can close it out.
All right.
You open it up. I'm the closer. I'm like Mariano Rivera.
Coffee's for closers.
There he is. And where Jake's at, it's probably like 5 o'clock. He's like,
where's Jake at?
7 o'clock. See, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Alaska.
Alaska,
Texas, it's all the same right now.
Every time I see one of Ken's freestyle FPV videos, I'm all pissed off because he's sitting there in the sunshine and flipping around trees. It's the dead of winter, and I'm like, oh, look,
amazing, man.
It's blowing snow and it's like 10 degrees below zero outside. I'm not going out to fly FPV today.
I try to fly one pack like at least a day, and today, so like I said, I yesterday I lost my my job, and I said, you know what? I said, fuck it, I'll just fly.
I ain't gonna worry. I'm gonna worry about it today. I'll go fly. So I walked out this morning. I had everything. I had my goggles on my head. I walk out the front door. I'm in my boxers and shit. And I had socks on because it was cold, but I'm in boxers. And I'm standing in the front, and it just starts pouring. I'm like, damn it. So I walk back. You can see me on the Ring camera. I just like walk back in the house. So I have probably 20 Ring videos of just me walking out in my underwear, flying the drone, and then landing at the front door and then coming back inside. My wife's she's like, you should put clothes on when you go fly your drone. And nobody sees me.
Can I bring these? Can I drive down there and bring all these drones?
Yeah, man. Bring them on by.
Show me how to fly them.
Absolutely, dude. I can
fly this one okay.
$4.99 super chat. Thank you very much.
But yeah, I can come down there. You're only 3 hours away.
Yeah, man. Come on down,
we go
dude.
To Orlando all the time, so it's not that much further.
I'm gonna build another micro, I think. I miss having a small drone, a small 3-inch or 4-inch drone. So I'm gonna build another micro just because I think those are super fun to fly. I want to try to get one under 250 grams, get a naked GoPro on it, and have something sub 250. Just let it rip. Speaking of which, I don't know if I didn't say anything, but we got finally.
Hey.
So
that's what I'm building now, Ken. I'm building a
stickers?
toothpick.
Yeah, stickers. I don't have the song, but these for Brew Crew members, these will go out. If you're in the Discord chat, I said send me an email. Said sticker me, bitch, and I'll get you stickers. So you're building what now, Jake?
I'm building one of the baby tooth or toothpick, a little 3-inch 1S. Whatever it is, 120 grams or something like that, all up weight, but it'll fly like a 5-inch.
Sure.
Super quiet, but super fast, super fun. That's what I'm building, just for the same reason. Having a little one, you can just rip around and not worry about.
Yeah, I
pissing
saw
people off and having fun.
Impulse RC just released it's called the Apex Mini.
And
it can fit a 20 by 20 stack. So I'm flying the Apex frame. So I'm like, well, this would be perfect to build a smaller version of that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give Kiss a go. I'm building one Apex. I'm going to make it a Kiss. I tried Falco X. Everybody told me to try Flight 1. I tried it. I hated it. Absolutely hated it.
I think I saw that video.
Dude, I hated it. I just, it's the worst. It's the worst. For starters, the flight controller is completely inoperable now. It just stopped working. The whole process of setting Flight 1 up is a pain in the ass, especially if you're on digital. You got to do everything on the goggles and on the sticks, or you got to do it on the screen, and it's a pain in the ass. I just want to set my modes and set everything up without ever having a need to do anything else. I set my quads up so fast, and just Falco X was very cumbersome and annoying. So I'm interested to see how Kiss is going to go.
Ken, you're talking about brands, pushy brands.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is just a few of the.
Oh yeah. I remember that at CES. I'm glad I never got involved with those guys.
So the battery lasts about a minute. So when they sent me those, I said, "How am I supposed to record a video?" When the battery lasts 1 minute.
Right.
And so I said, I need you to send me a pile of these things just so I could have a bunch charged for my video. And they just kept sending them. And then the props would fly off and they'd send me more. And we fixed it. And it was just over and over and over for a year and a half. They would just, that company.
I don't even know if they're still in business, man.
Product push outs I've ever seen in my life. And now my name is attached to it because I have the #1 video on that product, and it's atrocious.
Yeah, that sucks sometimes when you review a product and the product just tanks because then your name is on the video essentially.
What happened? It was a Kickstarter, so you don't really know where it's going, if it's going to the good side or the dark side.
Remember that? What was that Lily drone? Remember the Lily drone?
Oh yeah,
on
Lily
Kickstarter?
drone. That was another failed Kickstarter. A lot of people were really ragging on the Lily drone. So yeah, that was a pretty bad deal too. Just jumping in the chat. Flyzone says bring stickers to the meetup.
You know what? I will. I'm actually going to have a bunch of these stickers I'm going to bring to the meetup. I am also printing. I'm having the color version. So like I have 2 different logos. Like I use this logo for FPV. And then I have the other logo, which is like obviously the channel logo. So I will be bringing both sets of stickers with me. So like I said, when I mail them out, I'll probably do like a 1-in-1. I'm going to be a little slow with mailing them out because I have to fly to New York this week, but I will be sending these out. I'll send some stickers out, but we will be doing that. Somebody said something about B-Man asked me no more emu. I actually switched away from emu flight because I was having some issues with the being able to see link quality. So in the DJI headset, you can't actually see the link quality for what is it? Crossfire. So you have to run link quality through RSSI. But what I found was on emu flight, it doesn't work. It's not actually working at all. So that's a bit dangerous when you get out at a distance. Like I've never had Crossfire, knock on wood, never had Crossfire failsafe on me. But it's always nice to know that your link quality is actually functioning correctly. So that's why I went back to Betaflight. And then when I sent this out to somebody to be tuned, and I asked this person, I said, would you run emu flight or would you run Betaflight? And he says, if you absolutely love Betaflight, if you absolutely love emu flight, sure, run emu flight. But he says it's sort of bro science. Mm-hmm. He says there's not actually proving like data behind it. It's bro science. So what he's saying is the data that he gets from Betaflight is actually valid, and he knows that the improvements that they've made are actually proven science. So that's the reason why I ended up going back to Betaflight. But like I said, I'm going to try KISS. Like I know there's a lot of negativity around KISS because there isn't a lot of information about it. And some people claim that their ESCs and flight controllers are a little bit more fragile. But I think it's one of those things you got to just try it once. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So, and then you just know, okay, well, hey, wait a second. All these people flying KISS, there's nothing to it. So you can make Betaflight fly the same. I don't know. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it out. Brad Hendo asked, what do I think of the FPV controller, the new FPV controller? I think it's the same as a Tango 2. That's what I think. It feels the same. It doesn't feel any different. I don't find it cumbersome, but I don't find it really impressive either. It's just okay. So if you're somebody who pinches, you may find it a little bit cramped.
Are you a pincher, Ken?
I am a pincher. I've tried to thumb. What about you, Jake? Pincher or thumber?
Pincher.
I can't.
I've tried thumbing, but I just don't have the same confidence using my thumbs. And I even try in the simulator. I'll try using the simulator and thumb in the sim, and I just don't have the same control. I feel like I have granular control when I'm a hybrid pincher, actually. I say that because my thumbs are on top of the sticks, and then I have one finger in front of the sticks. So they call that pinching, or I forgot what they call it. It's hybrid anyways.
Yeah.
So.
That's what I do too.
But it's the most comfortable way.
The logic in like pinching. I see the logic. That's why I tried to switch.
Right.
But I just couldn't. I think it's just ingrained in me from playing video games since I was 7 years old. And every video game I've ever played has been with just my thumbs.
You know, I used to, like when I first started flying GPS drones, I would thumb. But after a period of time, I was like, I would miss my moves. I started pinching because I found like, oh, wow, I'm able to orbit a little bit cleaner. There's just certain things you're able to do a lot cleaner. Now, I feel like in FPV specifically, there may be some advantage to thumbing sometimes. I feel like certain maneuvers would be a little bit cleaner if I was thumbing versus pinching. But for the most part,
because you can get full deflection quicker.
Right, you get full deflection really quick. You can almost flick your stick. Oh, shit, that sounds terrible. You can flick your stick quicker than you can if you rip it with a pincher. But I mean, it all depends on how you fly. If you're somebody who's like all over the place, well, then maybe thumbing is the way to go.
I'm just trying not to crash right now. That's my
right.
whole
Well, then
goal.
you're going to want to
Every time
pinch. You're definitely going to want to pinch.
you're gonna want to pinch, because I think for most people that's gonna give them the best amount of control. Oh, Paul, you're back.
Yeah, that was fast.
That was quick.
Yeah, you're back quick, man.
He's less yellow.
In-laws live right down the street, man.
Well,
I got it down to
convenient.
a science transferring that.
That's what I was wondering. It looks like he had a little dialysis or something and just drained a little of the yellow out.
Yeah, no, it's still fairly yellow though.
Actually, looks a little more yellow than.
So I know today. I've been out of the loop today, but I saw that Blackmagic released a new camera today.
Yep.
They released the Blackmagic 6K Pro.
Yeah. And then apparently in a month they're going to release firmware to update the color science on all of the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras, which is pretty cool.
That's where Blackmagic is pretty cool though. You know, because like they always are adding like things to bring up their legacy products. Like I wish more brands supported legacy longer. Like you think about Sony. Like Sony could have maintained a lot of fans if they would have updated the color science. Because what does it take to really update the color science? It's a formula. It's not anything with the sensor. It's the formula, and they just wouldn't do it, which sucks because then you have people that are like trying to color match different cameras, and that's why I'm really meticulous about. I have to have two of the same cameras because I want my colors to match from my A cam to my B cam. That's one of the things. I don't know.
Isn't there software now that can match any camera?
There is, and it comes pretty close. Shit, I'm out of focus. There is. It comes pretty close, but it's not like amazing. But it does work pretty damn good.
Yeah,
pretty damn good.
Which camera are you using again, Paul? What's that camera you're using?
Right now, what are you using? A Logitech, Paul?
Yeah, it's a Logitech C930E. Supposed to be a 1080p webcam. Everybody always raves about it, but it looks like complete garbage unless you're in like a really well lit room.
I don't know, man.
You know, that's the thing I've noticed about webcams is like if the whole room isn't like pretty evenly lit or everything's not just like super bright, they just can't handle it.
Right, you can't do any like nice dynamic lighting or anything like that. This, like I really do.
I did a job interview today. It was the funniest shit. I did a job interview today, and they used WebEx Teams, and everybody on the call is using like the laptops.
And you were like super pro mode.
And then here I am. I'm like. And I'm like, I stuck out like a sore thumb because like I had the bokeh, the nice lighting, even it was like the great audio.
They hate you now.
People are just like,
you're not getting that job.
I hate.
I tried to use this, but I guess
you're totally not getting that job.
Yeah,
you can't use.
You got to blend in
7 or earlier.
It was funny, but to stick out like a sore thumb, it was like because like when management's like, well, wait a second, what do you do? Like what do you do? You got a radio show or something? It was funny, but it was definitely funny. So there is advantages to have that. Right now I use the Fuji X-T3 for all the streams, and then I use the Panasonic S5s for all the YouTube videos. It's all S5, and then for all my thumbnails, I use the X-T4 for thumbnails. So I use Fuji for photos mostly in the stream, and then Panasonic for everything else. Because the Fuji, like I have it going into the Ninja. And then out of the Ninja, it's being color graded into the stream.
You giving away stickers?
We're giving away stickers for Brew Crew.
Ken, I got something. I got something you can give away.
Paul, if you could, Brew Crew members in the Discord chat have access to this.
Yes,
if they're in Discord,
I did see that.
They can get stickers.
I have something I can donate to the giveaway.
What's that?
It's pretty special.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Amazon sent me an extra thing.
Oh wow! You're going to give that away? I thought we talked about this,
I
but
don't need it. I don't need it. Here,
I'll take it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really.
Is it me or is Mike moving slow motion? It's like, oh shit, that is a good one. That's what I use right here. This is this boom arm.
They sent him 3 and he only ordered 2.
Dude, let me tell you. If you don't know what it. So here's how you can win one of those. You got to go subscribe to Mike Unbox Warehouse, and you got to comment in one of his recent videos, somewhere in the video, Dobo, so he knows where you came from.
Just write Dobo in a comment on one of my videos.
Dobo in a comment. We will randomly pick one person to win that. Let me tell you,
it's like $150, right?
Yeah, it's $250. That is probably the most amazing boom mic. It's got integrated, so the XLR is integrated into this. Yeah, there you go. Same thing. I'm using the same one. It's amazing. The best boom arm, and
it better be
durable.
amazing for $150. I think that's insane. But
dude, no, it's not. No, it's not. Like when you want the best possible boom arm that's not going to fall on you, and like you can reposition and have integrated XLR.
Oh yeah, the cable's built into this thing.
The cable's built in.
I got two of them. I got one on this desk over here.
Is a blessing and a curse, though.
So this one is definitely a giveaway on your stream. I'm saying it right now.
But they got to go to your channel for you to select somebody. So you got to go to Unbox Warehouse, comment Dobo, and this should be good because if you guys, it's 11:09 p.m. Eastern. So if you've made it this far,
yeah, there's only like 40 people in there. I mean, your chances are 1 in 40.
So the chances of winning that are like 1 in 40, basically.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good shot. See what happens when you hang out long enough with us.
Well, yeah, the thing is too, when I've been running these streams, we've run them about an hour, typically. On average, we run them about an hour.
Right.
And I thought to myself, well, Ken Heron runs like 3-hour streams, and those always do pretty well, right? And when Sloan Ranger is on there, it does really well. That's what he calls
Sloan Ranger.
That's what he calls Jake. Sloan Ranger. He calls Jake
Ken,
Sloan Ranger.
I bought something so much fun. I love drones. I'm getting into FPV, but I did buy this the other day, and it's got to be the most fun thing. I bought this RC car truck.
Oh shit! I don't even want to open that can of worms.
Okay, it is like it cost about $320 for the whole kit from the hobby shop.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that thing pops wheelies.
Yeah.
It goes 60 miles an hour. Okay? Here's the crazy part. If you're going like 30, like half throttle, and you gas it, it literally pops a wheelie at 30 as it accelerates to 60. It's the most fun thing. I shred around in the yard and let the dog chase it, and I flipped this thing going like 50 miles an hour, and it just tumbled.
I don't think I can handle like another like hobby like that. Like FPV is like absolutely drained me mentally and financially. Even attempt another one because like when you build one drone, you're like,
this is the one you don't have to go crazy. You can
you say that, but the problem is like I look at all of us, we're all gearheads if you think about it, and like we're gearheads of a modern era. Like if it's not FPV, it's going to be a camera. You want to have the best of the best camera, and if it's not a camera, it's going to be a lens that you want to have, and it's
the boom arm.
We're never. What I found is, and this is a problem maybe in the tech genre of YouTube in general, is we have like gear acquisition syndrome. We have to obtain like the best gear. And if something new comes out, you're going to want to get it. And you're going to stop at no means necessary you're going to use any means necessary to acquire that gear, unfortunately.
I have a gimbal addiction.
I had a gimbal addiction. I actually just got rid of one of my gimbals.
Addiction.
I got rid of one of my gimbals.
I have two
I don't
working
think he has a
gimbals.
gimbal addiction.
He used to have a gimbal addiction.
I probably have 15 gimbals.
Yeah, that's a problem, Mike. That's a problem. If you have 15 gimbals, you need to seek medical help.
I have gimbals I haven't even opened.
15 gimbals, you're sick. You're sick with 15 gimbals.
I can barely get one use enough time. I don't want to use a gimbal unless I have to. I only use it for real
But it's like that with drones, though. Like when I started with FPV, I started with one drone. Then one drone turned into 2, 3, and now I have them plastered on my wall.
It's not that I use 15. It's that it becomes a piece of you.
Sure.
And it's a slippery slope.
It is a slippery slope.
You start becoming a collector, Well,
with gimbals, what I used to do is I would keep using them until I found one that was like super smooth. And that was my problem. I would buy them, and then once you buy a gimbal, you can't for the most part, you're not going to get a chance to return it.
So pretty.
Like
look,
cars, the resale value. I'm going
Rosewood.
Yeah, the Phaotech. Yeah, they don't like me. They won't work with me because I was like, I don't like that. The AK-4000 or whatever it was. I said it was a piece of crap. They got all pissy with me.
That was like me with what was that? Was it Phaotech? It was the Moza Aircross.
They're another company, yeah. They won't work with you anymore, huh?
No, I mean, it's like it's not a bad gimbal. It's just not as good as other gimbals on the market.
Yeah,
That's pretty much all I said. I was like, it just needs this and this and this to be better. And that was like,
I haven't even opened this thing.
it.
Is this bad?
The
Tell me
Chinese,
this is bad.
Chinese take things very personal though, because they're
They
very
do.
prideful people.
I
And
haven't
like
even
when you
messed with
call
this.
their,
Is this
it's
bad?
like these products are their babies, so it's like you calling their baby ugly,
Right.
and they get really upset about that. I noticed, and it's not that it's just they don't understand criticism, and
Yeah.
maybe that's a Western thing is criticism, but they're I just tell them it sucks. Like
Jake, what problems did you have with the Moza?
It's not. I mean,
I haven't messed with it yet.
it needed some work on the way it stabilized and stuff. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. And then, but the big thing is like all the functionality and the features that like Zhiyun and DJI have put in their last few gimbals have kind of left the Aircross in the dust because they haven't really pushed to keep up with what other people are doing in the gimbals. So like you get the Weeble S, stabilizes really, really well. You can do tracking with it. You can do all this other stuff and then you get the Aircross and you're like, well, if you don't do this stuff just the way it's supposed to be done with the Aircross, it won't stabilize well at all. And then with the last releases of the DJI gimbals, it's the same thing. It's like they've advanced so much on how well the gimbals stabilize and compensate.
The RS2
is just
like
not kept
insane,
up.
right?
What's up?
Like the RS2 is insane.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like they've just passed everybody up. How do you
Right.
compete?
Yeah. So, and I mean, I'm sure like the next set of Zhiyun gimbals will be, because they've kind of been leapfrogging each other.
These little
on
pocket
some
things.
Oh yeah.
So the DJI and then the Feiyutech came out
Right.
like exact replica.
Mike, I'm hearing an echo out of you.
Yeah, I told him he needs to put headphones on. I told him that earlier.
It's that brick wall right behind him.
I'm hearing an echo out of you.
So it's just,
I'm gonna put my headphone on. I want to monitor that audio.
Yeah, so I got the DJI Pocket 2 and I was like, I'm not getting anybody else's because I just don't want to. The Pocket 2 is great. If you're going to compare something, you're going to compare it, and it's like, unless they're doing something better than DJI, it's like, well, they're a decent copy, but not quite as good.
Yeah. Huh. Where the fuck is that sound coming from?
I don't hear it anymore.
No, I hear it.
Oh.
Somebody must be listening to it. I can hear an echo.
I'm not listening to it.
I'm echoing. How am I echoing?
Am I echoing?
No, you're not echoing. Maybe it is you, Jake.
Is it me?
Is it you?
No.
I can hear me after I say something. Let's mute Jake. All right, so now I'm talking.
All right, I'm on the headphones now. Is the echo gone?
All right, so I'm talking. I don't hear the echo anymore. I'm gonna unmute. I'm gonna unmute Jake and see. All right, so now I'm talking again. I'm gonna mute Jake. I no longer hear the echo. It's Jake. Jake's the culprit. Jake's the echo culprit.
I wasn't the echo. I wasn't the echo culprit the other night though, because I wasn't even on the stream.
That was me with the effects button. Yeah.
What's this air button on the Focusrite? What is that?
I don't know.
It adds a top like EQ boost up in the high end, so it like.
All right, tell me if you can. Get ready. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. There's the air on. Air is on. Air is off. It doesn't do shit. The button is just dumb. You didn't hear anything, did you? Look, air button is off. Air button is on. Nothing. It's a garbage button.
Garbage button.
Jake, what mic are you using?
I'm using the Deity S Mic 2S.
That's the reason why we're getting an echo. The attenuation, I bet, is turned. So basically, if you
How about
set
now?
the,
You still?
let me see. Let me say something. No, what'd you do?
I put one of my earpods in.
Yeah, I can't hear an echo now. I bet you if you set the attenuation a little higher,
to where it's only going to pick up the audio going forward, you'd be okay to not have headphones on. Like these mics are really good at rejecting noise. Paul's mic, I don't know. Paul is basically eating it. So
my mic is the
Paul's,
best mic.
Paul's licking his microphone. My microphone is 18 inches away.
Yeah, that's
just because I hate the look of a mic right in my face. So.
I know. But if when you're doing, but think about your live streams though. A lot of times when you're doing a live stream, guess who's the person who's on your stream? You.
Yeah.
Just you.
That's the only reason I started a YouTube channel was I just wanted something to be all about me.
Right. But you're a solo creator, so it makes sense. But when you start when you start bringing people on, that's the problem I had when I started doing these live streams. I was using XSplit and it was fine. XSplit worked perfect when it was just me. The minute I started introducing guests onto the stream, that's when everything went to hell in a handbasket, and I couldn't figure out the audio routing because XSplit's audio routing was a shit show because you had to bring Skype in. Then I finally broke down after, I think it was when I had Ken Herron on the very first time. It was just a shit show with the audio, and I said it was Adam Bry. Adam Bry was the straw that broke the camel's back. I finally said,
I remember that one.
I finally said, you know what? Never again. And Paul and I made the decision that we're just going to get StreamYards. And for the most part, StreamYards has been absolutely excellent. It's been absolutely excellent for the most part. Like I have zero complaints, and they do a lot of updates, and they do a lot for the creators to make it worthy. And obviously, Paul, you've done an amazing job making it look not so StreamYardy. So thank you.
Yeah, there's no duck icons. You don't put the duck in there.
Now, see, now that I have my headphones on, Mike, your audio is coming in very good, almost seductively good, Mike.
Oh yeah,
say something
like
else
that.
to me.
Fucking, you like that, Ken? Huh?
Yeah,
you like that?
That's good. I like.
You
that.
like fucking drones in your ass, Ken?
All right, you just went.
Oh, sorry. I just went deep.
Yeah, you went to a Sean Oz. I watched that stream where you guys were trying to roast me. And Sean Oz took the stream into like a super dark place, and I watched the stream back. So Jake, I think you were on the stream. I think it was you and Russ and somebody else. And I'm watching Russ's face, and Russ's face was just priceless. Russ was like completely pale. Like he was like, oh my God.
You could tell he was very awkward out by it all.
He wasn't down with the brown.
No, he was freaked out. And I'm watching the stream and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing, Sean? I'm like, no. I'm thinking to myself at that point, I'm like, I'm going to have to edit out Sean's whole little segment out of this because it was so out there. I just left it because I'm like, whatever.
When Sean went into his secondary investment website, I was starting to get a little freaked out there.
Who's Ready Set Drone?
That's Kelly Shores.
Okay, I was going back through my subscribers actually yesterday, and I noticed that Ready Set Drone subscribed to me in 2017.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, so I didn't even know that. And I went through my biggest subscribers, and they were one of the top 10 that subscribed to me. And it was like back in 2017.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Which is really crazy because I had to be like literally a couple hundred subscribers at that time.
Yeah, I watched that stream and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was cringing. I was cringing.
It takes a lot to get Dobo to cringe.
If I cringe, that really says a lot. And I'm looking at everybody's faces and I'm just like, please, dude, just don't. Oh God. I wish I could have that night back. I should have never got off the stream, but that was terrible. Never again will I give you guys. I will never give you guys that. Mike's about as cringeworthy as I will allow to comedy.
Thank you.
To comedy or stream. So, and to be fair, Mike, I did mean to call you back. I did see you call. Like every time Mike calls me, it's like the worst possible time. I'm like in a funeral home. I'm at a bank. I'm like, it's always the worst time to answer a phone. And I'm like, this whole week's just been a shit show.
Is the bank is bad? I mean, I get the funeral home, but the bank you can answer.
Yeah, we were dealing with accounts. Like we were dealing with like trust accounts and stuff. So I was trying to get through all that crap. So
I think I just had literally some drone questions. It wasn't even personal. I just bought all these FPV.
last time we talked, you blew your kitchen up, I think.
Yeah, I completely rookie mistake. I bought it was a 3S battery,
and you charged it as a 4S battery.
And I charged it as a 4S battery, but not only that, but I didn't look at the milliamp hours and convert that to a volt rate or amp rate.
So an amp rate, like a safe amp rate for most batteries, is going to be about 1 amp. 1 amp is so one battery. Like I usually charge my 6S batteries. My 6S batteries are 1,000 milliamp hours. I charge those at 1 amp.
Oh, and I didn't plug in the balance port.
Okay, that's another big thing because then your cells are just going all willy-nilly.
Oh, it had the charger had no clue what was going on.
Yeah.
I basically just plugged it in, was pumping a bunch of shit into it, and I went in the other room. And next thing I know, I heard like a pissing noise from the kitchen. I heard
but that's the thing. You got lucky. And
I ran in there.
I've seen those things go on fire. Seriously.
No. Listen, I ran in there, and the whole kitchen smelled like chlorine gas. Like it was like sulfuric gas. And I ran in there, and it was the battery had ballooned up to about 4 times its size, and it was pissing out gas. It was off gassing. I unplugged it, held it by this little dangly, and I go running out of the house with it. And right when I got to the door, it exploded into a fireball, and I threw the string outside. It burned my wall up, and there was about a 4-foot flame coming off of this thing like a rocket. Look at a rocket engine. It was insane.
It's crazy, man.
LiPo batteries.
I respect them on another level now because I had the accident. I'm honestly glad it happened because I was
that's a good accident to have.
Because I was nobody got hurt, nothing got damaged. But now I have a newfound respect for these LiPo batteries because I will not just charge them and leave them and go in the other room. Like, no, I need to respect them because I had one.
But that's what happens. We get lax. Like when I first started charging these things, I didn't really understand them or respect them. But now like I sit there, like my charger's right there, and I have it on like a fireproof pad. I have heard people charge it in these boxes that you can put the balance port into a charging box and charge in this fireproof case. But I keep it on a fireproof thing. I have people think I'm crazy. I have a fire extinguisher on my wall right where I charge. Like, so if there's a case where I have an emergency, I'm pulling that fire extinguisher off the wall, putting the fire out. Seriously.
It was serious. I think my A7S3 just died, I think.
Yeah, I see that. Well, we'll go ahead and we're going to wrap this stream up here at 11:30, man. That's a good long stream. I screwed up Paul tonight. I'll get yelled at tomorrow. Paul texts me like, dude, you really threw me off. Paul likes to yell. You should see Paul when he's angry. Paul in the meetings, when we have our board meetings, he just gets super angry. He gets super angry. Paul.
When you go over budget cuts.
Well, yeah.
And it's always his pay.
We're already at the cut. So, Paul, you want to say goodbye?
Yo, y'all just stay freaking original.
Oh, wait, you hit the button or I'm hitting the... Wait, am I hitting the button or you button?
You hit it.
No,
Paul,
I hit it again.
Dobo,
Paul,
you hit it.
I hit it again. Paul.
I want you. I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh, yeah. And who knew what you do? Cause stop me cold in my tracks, yeah. Why don't you get up off of these high hypotheses? I'm not Socrates. I'm not trying to be cool.
Fucker. Damn it. I was trying to get him. Trying to get you.
I want you, I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh, yeah. And who knew what you do? Cause stop me cold in my tracks, yeah. Why don't you get up off of these high hypotheses? I'm not Socrates. I'm not trying to be cool. Ooh, yeah, yeah.
going on is that Ken just lost his drone. Not this Ken, other Ken.
You guys are awesome for helping me look, but I feel bad because
It's an adventure. We're searching for it, not having any luck. Other Ken's shitting himself. It's a great time. You just watch your footsteps and just get through here.
is that poison ivy or
Nah,
this thing's slippery? What was that?
just a turtle. I think he has turtles or something.
Thanks for coming in here.
Whoa, that mud is so slippery.
You good, you guys?
That is some fucking mud, dude.
This is green stuff is slippery.
This is about where you said you saw it.
Dan Boner's probably just gone.
Fuck.
Oh man.
But I don't see shit.
Fuck, Scott. That's an alligator, dude. That's an alligator, dude. That's an alligator, dude.
You know alligator.
Fuck, spider, fuck, spider, fuck, shit, hit, spider, fuck.
Ah,
What is that?
some trash.
Ah, that's an alligator, dude.
It's not an alligator.
Then what is it? You don't hear him?
It's not an alligator.
Then what is it? You don't hear him?
Nope. I hear frogs. Relax, dude.
Are you filming?
Yeah.
Fuck. I think I just shit my pants. I don't even know what's happening anymore. We've been out here for 28 days.
If I play back to goggle
We-
DVR,
we-
you can come back in the daytime?
Yeah, we could try in the morning. So you have a recording for where it crashed? And we didn't look before we ran over here? Let's go look, and we'll reassess. It's in my ear like a worm.
Oh, it's just a fly. Sean, have you been recording any of this?
I got a lot of it. Alligator! No, I'm just
Yeah.
Alligator! No.
Oh, you hear that? What was that? It's my first time walking through a
Follow
marsh.
me, just follow me, guys. I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to be down in this area.
I'm getting freaked out of here as fast as I can go. I'm getting freaked out of here as fast as I can go. Freaked out of here as fast as I can go.
You can put that away. Like you can put that away and bring it out in a year now, and it's brand fucking new. I love it.
It's hilarious. man.
Stay original. Paul, stay original.
That was good, man.